You're listening to the Anime Brothers podcast, where the hosts are hot, but the seasonal anime is even hotter. Actually, it's way hotter. We're not even making water boil over here because the anime is that hot. My name is Mattie, and I'm a very unsilent witch, but that doesn't mean I'm not quaking with social anxiety. And I'm joined with my seasonal shenanigans co-host for these seasonal shenanigans episodes. It's the unforgivable Grenth.
Okay, well, calling me unforgivable was going to make me start quaking with social anxiety. That's for sure.
It's the bit. I call Earthworm. I don't know if people notice this every single week. Earthworm gets called informal, inadequate, whatever. You're going to be That's going to be your thing. I'm giving you the uns. He's the ins. You know.
Okay.
Unforgivable was what I could think of. It's a bit. It's a bit.
All right. Yeah, I know it is. I'm playing into the bit.
Okay. So
is that what I'm not supposed to do?
I'm ruining the bit by not playing into the bit. Okay, yeah, all right. Just say okay. Fuck me, I guess. Anyways, yeah. Okay. So if you watch seasonal anime, you have been very busy the past few weeks, past months, because God is this season thick. Is a thick season that's so thick that I tried to run a spoon through it and the spoon broke and I'm too poor to afford another spoon, so now I got to eat the seasonal anime with my hands. But we are going to talk about it regardless, even if we don't have an anime watching spoon. This analogy is really stupid. Who wrote this? I didn't write anything down. But we're going to be talking about seasonal anime this week. We're going to be giving our a review. We're going to be talking about everything we enjoyed about it, our hits, our misses, and we are going to be, for the first time ever, we are going to be unveiling the results for Grenth's really genius idea, our seasonal anime awards. This is a great idea. I'm really thrilled with this idea.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it too. Like, it's going to be fun to get to do this for each season, and then we get to do a big wrap-up thing at the end of the year. Just go over everything that we go through before. I guess we'll have to figure out exactly how we're going to do that for this year, since we're kind of starting it halfway through. But right. Yeah.
Well, you know what? We can just decide what one for winter and spring, right? You know?
I'm sure
what?
Yep. That works for me. Because I'll be looking at some of these, it's like, you know what? Might be the best option.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, I don't understand what came out in spring. It seems like so long ago. Sure.
Oh gosh, I don't remember.
I don't remember anything. It's been forever since I've done seasonal stuff regularly. So I'm just like, when did spring even happen? Yeah, they're gonna be like, yo, how did the Shunji family children make it into anime of the year listing? This podcast is stupid. They're also going to be mad because it's going to be like, the 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You. Season 2 is also nominated for Anime of the Year. This doesn't feel biased at all.
I mean, yeah. Hey, that one's good. That one's good.
It is. So good.
I feel like it'd be deserving. I don't remember what else it was going up against, though.
Yeah, I don't remember anything from winter because I wasn't doing the season. Oh, it'd be going against Edgelord the anime. I cannot remember. I'm looking at the picture right now and I cannot remember the solo leveling.
It came out this season.
Hey, bazinga. Yeah, no, it'd be going against solo leveling, which will not make it to the finals. I hate to hear solo leveling fans. I hate it for you guys. Oh, I'm so mad. Oh man, but it's not my choice. Anyways, we're banting enough. Do you want to go ahead and just dive into these awards, because we got a lot of anime to talk about?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Let's go for it.
Okay, so what we did and what we're going to continue to do, we might modify it a little bit because doing top five of just fan votes means that there are a couple of people who made it in here by like little tiny itty bitty votes. So we might just make it so it's the top three, and then we each pick one to add to the top five. I don't know. We'll talk about it later. We can plan off the podcast. But we've got 5 categories. We got best girl, best boy, best ED, best OP, and the anime of the season. And we got 5 nominees for each. And I am, again, if you voted for it, thank you so much. Thank you all for taking the time out to do it. I posted in several Discords. I was going to post it to our social media, but I didn't get around to doing that because I'm a very lazy boy. And so for the votes we did get, I think we did a pretty good turnout. So I'm very thankful to all of you who participated. I know some of you are just here for the awards, so we're going to get into it real quick. But our first category for the evening, morning, whenever you're listening to this for the Anime Brothers Seasonal Anime Awards for Seasonal Anime Summer 2025 edition, is Best Girl. Our nominees are Momo Ayase from Dandadan Season 2, Monica Everett from Secrets of the Silent Witch, Marin Kitagawa from My Dress Up Darling Season 2, Fuji from With You in the Rain, Anko Usuisu from Call the Night Season 2, and Suika from Dr. Stone Season 4. All right, thick list. We're going to go and announce second place, then we're going to announce first place. But second place for Best Girl is surprise. Well, surprise to me, Suika from Dr. Stone Season 4. Yay.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
yeah.
Sorry, you just said that. No, that's fine.
It shocked me. I had to look up Suika when we were doing this, but yeah. But number one, drum roll, that'll be added in post, but I'm doing it on my desk anyways. First place, Best Girl of the Season, undisputed, is Monica Everett from Secrets of the Silent Witch, who only won by a single vote. Yay! We love Monica.
Yeah, Monica's great, you know? You're
Yeah.
welcome, everyone who likes this, because I voted for her just a few hours ago.
I voted for her when the polls opened. Yep. Monica Everett, Monica Norton, if you don't know, or if you do know, actually, from Secrets of the Silent Witch, a great anime. But let's go on to the next one. We got Best Boy. What's up?
So for Best Boy, the nominees are Rintaro Sumugi from The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity, Ko Yamari from Call of the Night Season 2, Jin Injoji Gigi from Dandadan Season 2, Hikaru from The Summer Hikaru Died, Yoshiki Sujinaka from The Summer Hikaru Died, and Hanako-kun from Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, I believe it was Season 2?
Yeah, Season 2, Part 2, something like that.
Gotcha. And coming in second place, we have Rintaro Sumugi from The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. And then in first place, it is Jin Injoji Gigi from Dandadan Season 2 with 60% of the vote.
Yeah, when the voting opened, he was always in the lead. It looked like Pac-Man eating these other nominees because his color was yellow, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hey, makes sense to me. I can see Gigi's definitely deserving of it.
Yeah, I voted for Gigi. My boy didn't make it past the prelims. I put you from With You in the Rain. I don't know if we're considering an animal a best boy, but he's a good boy, so, you know.
I'd allow it.
I allow it too. Best boy doesn't mean you want to, you love the character. Anyways, moving on to the next category. I don't know why I stalled like that, but next category is Best ED. Our nominees are Nemure by Creepy Nuts from Call of the Night Season 2, Tokashiteru by Wirtz from Dandadan Season 2, Tomoshibi by Dust Cell from Gachi Akuta, Beautiful Colors by One Republic from Kaiju No. 8 Season 2, Kawaii Kawaii by Piki from My Dress Up Darling Season 2, and Filled by Kei Sugiwara from With You in the Rain. Our second place is Kawaii Kawaii by Piki from My Dress Up Darling Season 2. I voted for this. I love this ED. You're about to lose anime democracy because this OP was great. But our number one winner is Dogashiteru by Wirtz from Dandadan Season 2. Hooray!
Yay! Am I supposed to act excited for this?
I guess I didn't like it. I didn't like this ED that much either.
I didn't either. I'm not gonna lie. I would have preferred the My Dress Up Darling one, to be honest.
I love the Dress Up Darling one. I could not skip it any single time I had to watch My Dress Up Darling. This was basically my reward for making through each episode.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. Like, if I hadn't been pressed for time, I probably would have watched it more. I will admit my vote went to Beautiful Colors, but I mean, there was a few good ones in this list, so you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes
honestly,
it's how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, honestly, the fact that the With You in the Rain one got past the prelims is surprising to me, because I didn't write it in or vote for it, and I don't know anybody who ever talked about With You in the Rain except a few people on the Discord. I don't know if they did that, but regardless, I'm glad to see it here, so there's that.
Yeah. And speaking of things that we don't understand how they got through the prelims, we have the next award, which is Best OP. And the nominations for this one are Mirage by Creepy Nuts for Call of the Night Season 2, Auto Kirameki by Spirit Spica for My Dress Up Darling Season 2, Saikai for The Summer Hikaru Died, On the Way by Aina the End for Dandadan Season 2, Hugs by Pale Dusk for Gachiakuta, and Hello by Furui Riho for City the Animation. So, coming in at second place, we have a three-way tie, which apparently all had 17% of the vote. So, first off, we have Auto Kirameki by Spirit Spica for My Dress Up Darling Season 2, Saikai by Vondry for The Summer Hikaru Died, and On the Way by Aina for Dandadan Season 2. But in first place, with 40% of the vote, is Mirage by Creepy Nuts for Call of the Night Season 2. And I'd say that that's a surprise, but I'm not gonna lie, looking at this lineup, this is like seeing prime Mike Tyson getting ready to fight a trio of anemic toddlers and a duo of malnourished emo teenagers, I'm not gonna lie, so it was not surprising to me in the least.
It's literally the meme, hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby.
Yeah.
There was even if we did the preliminaries and just made that the vote, the Mirage absolutely dunked on every single thing. Like, Mirage was so good, it got me to watch Call of the Night. It's a great OP. Like, that flamenco guitar and everything, like, oh, it's so good.
Oh, I know it. This is where I wish we had, because not to do playing out the podcast, but I wish that we had done some amount of like picking of stuff for ourselves, because I feel like there were a couple other OPs that were honestly good enough to maybe be in contention with Mirage.
Yeah.
At least to me there are, but they just weren't in shows that people watched, I don't think, so.
Yeah,
you know.
that's fair. Honestly, as far as if I had to pick for another one, I'd honestly go with Hello from City the Animation. I like City the Animation's animation, but I don't like anything else about it, so honestly, I would have voted for that if Mirage was not here, but again, a stacked season. But Mirage is an absolutely powerful OP, so what are you going to do?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so our final category, the only one that matters because it determines whose opinion is relevant and who is a lame doo-doo baby who has doo-doo diapers. It's Show of the Season. Thick season. We took the top 6 votes from the prelims, as mentioned. And here's what we got for nominees. Starting off, we got Clevatess.
And then there is Taco P's Original Sin.
And then we got Dandadan Season 2.
Followed by City the Animation.
And then The Summer Hikaru Died.
And then to wrap it all up is Call of the Night Season 2.
All right, so thick voting. Honestly, only one of these stayed at the bottom consistently, and that was Clevatess. Clevatess always remained in bottom place. So spoilers for Clevatess fans, although I'm sure you knew that Clevatess wasn't going to win regardless, considering what it was up against. But
so coming in at second place for Show of the Season is Dandadan Season 2.
Yay! Yay. Sarcastic clap.
I think that there was some applause there, but Discord cut it out.
Yeah. It's also because I was clapping like I was doing a wind up of a clap. I'm like, man, if Dandadan Season 2 got second place, we can only hope that somehow City the Animation riled everybody together to get it to first place, right? That's what happened, right? Right. All right,
I
let's
know
just
this
go
one
ahead.
hurts you
Yeah,
particularly.
Let's just go ahead and say what won already.
All right. So coming in first for show of the season in summer 2025, we have Taco P's Original Sin. By a single vote.
By a single vote. Whoever voted last for Taco P's Original Sin. I'm not saying I don't like you, but I'm just saying that when we have the house party to celebrate this, you need to bring an extra beverage for me to drink. Taco P's Original Sin. I did not enjoy this as much as every single other person on the planet who watches anime seemed to. We'll talk about it later. I've talked about it before. It did not resonate with me. I can see when somebody makes a beautifully made cheesecake. I hate cheesecake, but at the same time, I don't want to eat the cheesecake. And when I ate Taco P's Original Sin, I said, yeah, this is really well made and a really well crafted story, but my God, am I not happy that I ate it.
I get that, I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't watch Taco P. With the little bit I heard of it was enough to make me go, I don't think this is going to be good for my mental health if I do watch it, so I'm just going to skip it. And yeah, I've heard more since then, and I'm like, yeah, I made the right decision in not watching this, so I can't really say too much about it. But from how it's been described to me, I'm, I guess, kind of surprised at this. Although at the same time, I was seeing how much people were loving on it, so I don't know.
I mean, here's the thing. I would recommend fans of animation in general to watch it because it's really well directed. There are several scenes where I was just floored by some of the reflections they chose. There's an entire scene with them walking in the forest, or a character pretend walking in the forest in their mind, that impressed me. There's so much gorgeous, the taco or the Happy End planet. There's so many cool things visually. But the actual story makes me uncomfortable for reasons I don't want to talk about to bring everybody down, but it just made me tremendously uncomfortable and I wasn't happy. And I know that that's the point of Taco P's Original Sin. I know it's not to, it's not a story you're supposed to sit there and be like, wow, this is so amazing. But the discomfort was just something I could never shake. But maybe some people would argue that's the grand intention of the thing. But I didn't enjoy it, but I recognize a shiny product. They definitely took a turd of a manga and polished it up so beautifully. So good for them. We'll mail your award to you at Taco P's Original Sin. So check your mail every day. Earthworm will get on mailing that award. He's in charge of that. So if you don't get it, then blame him.
Yeah, he's also in charge of making the trophies.
He's also in charge of making the trophies, you're right.
That's his contribution to this whole awards portion.
Gold that classic Maine gold that he finds in his yard. He's gonna send it to you, Taco P's Original Sin. It may just check your mail. All right, that's enough talking about you all. Thank you all for voting, but it's not time to talk about you anymore. It's time to talk about us and the anime we watched. We're gonna start this off in three distinct sections. I don't know why I couldn't say that word. We're gonna talk about the shows we dropped real quick. Then we're gonna talk about the shows going into the summer season that we're watching, and then we're gonna just cover the shows in alphabetical order. And then finish it up with our final thoughts. And then we'll get on out of here and you can go about your day. All right. So for all the good shows that there were this season, there were also some stinkers that we could not finish. Let's go ahead and give you the talking stick, Grenth. What are some of the shows from this season that you had to drop?
All right. So I guess if I'm just going right through the list real quick, and I'll just say I dropped Bad Girl, Cultural Exchange with the Game Center Girl, Necronomicon and the Cosmic Horror Show, Ruri Rocks, Turkey Time to Strike, and Welcome to the Outcast Restaurant. I'm not gonna lie, there was some of these that were kind of more dropped for time.
Yeah.
Bad Girl, that one was more I was enjoying it for what it was, but it's basically just like a rom-com type thing of oh, they don't understand that I have feelings for them, and yeah, it's very, I guess, tropey. I like some of the character designs, though, but that's the biggest thing going for it, I guess, is the character designs, and it did make me chuckle a bit, but it was more just there's too much to watch, so...
That's fair. I know we both dropped Culture Exchange with the Game Center Girl, probably around the same time, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I dropped it after episode 2, where I was just I'm just not vibing with it, so I'm just gonna... Nah, I'm good. I don't need this one.
Yeah, that's fair. They went on the date and I said, I don't need you in my life. So I just I had to dip.
Yeah, I get it.
Surprised you did Ruri Rocks. You seemed kind of into it last when we were talking about it last. Or was it just another time constraint thing?
Okay, I guess real quick off the podcast, like were we just, I know I listed all mine, so we're just going to go through all mine real quick and then get through yours, I guess.
No, I'm just curious. Ruri Rocks, I'm curious about, like, because you did seem into it. I wanted to watch it. I didn't put it on my drop list because I technically didn't drop it. I plan to finish it at some point. There's a few shows that I don't have on here that I'm not going to talk about, like The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. I'm not going to talk about that because I watched 4 or so episodes and I said, this is really good. I really want to watch it and not have to use less than savory methods to watch it. But then it turns out I'm going to have to do that regardless because I unsubbed from, well, I guess I don't because I just have to use Netflix. But you know what? Screw Netflix too. Anyways. No, I'm just surprised. I was just saying I'm surprised that you dropped Ruri Rocks.
Yeah, so Ruri Rocks, it was, I think, at the end of the day, kind of done for time. Although, even if I had more time, I don't know that I would really be super interested in continuing it. Like, it was very pretty, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, it's, at the end of the day, it's, we're going around doing geology, for like 12 episodes. And after like 5 or 6, I was sort of like, do I need to watch more of this or am I good? So that's kind of basically what it is, with combination of like, there's other stuff I'd rather devote my time to, basically is what the reason why I dropped it. Like I said, though, it's very pretty, very well animated. So there's that for anyone who just wants a really well animated show. But I don't know. For me, animation's never been like my biggest deal when it comes to animations or when it comes to anime. So yeah, that's basically why.
Fair enough. I mean, it is like when you're trying to do this, you do kind of have to like pick and choose what you're going to finish and all that.
So I'll say like another one that was mainly just dropped for time was Necronomicon and the Cosmic Horror Show. It was just like, that one was really just time. It was interesting enough, like out of the list of the ones I had dropped, it's probably the one that I would finish first. Either that or Bad Girl, honestly. But yeah, I just didn't really have the time. I will say this is one of the shows that I feel like had a great OP, though. An OP that, in my opinion, is much better than the show it's attached to. But yeah, it was just time got away from me, so I couldn't finish that one. Turkey, Time to Strike was just... I like one of the characters kind of was ruining it, and I was just like, I was, without spoiling anything, there's a big thing that happens at the end of episode 1, and I was honestly probably have been more interested if it hadn't have happened. So
that's fair. I've heard a lot of people say that they hate that bait and switch.
Yeah, it's not the bait and switch that I really have an issue with. Like, it's an interesting idea. It's just I was, again, this might give it away a little bit, but I was kind of going into this thinking like, I guess this is the bait and switch, but I was just like, a show about people playing bowling? Like, for some reason, I'm interested to see where that goes, and then you don't really get that. So, yeah. I guess, yeah, I guess I didn't like the bait and switch, but oh well. And then Welcome to the Outcast Restaurant was... It wasn't bad, it was just kind of, I guess, generic to a degree. It feels like one of the shows where I would describe them as isekai-likes, in that it's sort of like, we have the super OP protagonist. Like, this is essentially one of the, it's the trope of the person who gets kicked out of the super party because he's not actually needed, and then it turns out, he actually was really needed, sort of things. But yeah, it was just, like, not enough time and wasn't interesting enough to really keep me in. But that's the stuff that I dropped from the season. What about you?
I only dropped a few shows. Honestly, if I watched something, I kind of stuck with it. I did drop City of the Animation, which is a damn shame because City of the Animation is absolutely gorgeous. It's beautiful on the eyes, from what I've heard, and I don't know why they lie to me. It's animated in analog, so they basically draw it on paper, then transfer it. So that's cool. But I just didn't find City of the Animation funny. and it didn't relax me, so I didn't want to watch it. But I think it's a beautiful show. I could maybe in a few months or something, if I'm bored and I want to just take in an episode at a time, I could, because it was worth that. But I just didn't really get into it, and I hate that. But on the opposite end of having such good animation but nothing to compensate for, we've got terrible animation but a good kind of plot to compensate for. And so apparently if you live in those extremes, I'm not going to vibe with you. I also dropped Night of the Living Cat is what I'm getting at. Night of the Living Cat, ugly, hideous, disgust, just some pretty terrible animation. A lot of you. Do you want to see CGI cats? Because that's what Night of the Living Cat's got for you. The premise seemed fun. I was super stoked on it because I love cats. I love my cats. And I thought that zombie apocalypse with cats would be fun because, like you said, you learn a little bit about cats each episode. They give you a little breakdown. And it's kind of fun. It's kind of neat, Or somebody told me. No, it was one of my coworkers told me about Night of the Living Cat and the information breakdowns. I've got a coworker who likes anime on the almost same degree as I do. It's wild. Great when that happens. Anyways, but I heard their discussion on Night of the Living Cat, and I was going to give it more of a chance. But by episode 3, I said, "Dude, I don't like this. I wish it looked better, and I guess maybe I wish there was a little bit more substance to it, but it just looks too bad." And I just didn't really vibe with it. So
yeah, that's fair. Like when I was putting together the list of like the OPs and EDs and stuff, the YouTube playlist, I saw the OP for this one, and it made me kind of want to go watch it because I also love cats. But I'm like, yeah, you talking about the CGI cats, and I was seeing like, oh, even in the OP, they're showing up the CGI cats quite a bit. So yeah.
Yeah,
the animation was not superb.
No, not in any capacity. Pretty terrible. But speaking of things that were beautifully animated, my last drop of the season, it's actually a holdover from the previous season, and that is Samurai Legend Yaiba, a classic shonen anime, remade by Studio Wit. Honestly, or Wit Studio, whatever you want to call it. I really liked the first 2 or 3 episodes of it. It was really, really gorgeous animation. Like, if you're a slut for animation, then you're gonna be in heaven with this show. The OP, gorgeous. But by episode 5, I just didn't. It's very classic shonen. It's very classic shonen. I kind of knew where it was going, and this is me not giving it the benefit of the doubt. But I wasn't really feeling the direction. I liked the art. I liked everything. But I didn't want to watch it week to week. I just kind of was hoping that maybe somebody will eventually tell me how great it is if it kind of eventually hits the point where it subverts those shonen expectations and becomes something that I would really enjoy. Because I like shonen well enough, but I'm not the biggest shonen fan, or battle shonen fan, I should say. And so I just kind of thought that Samurai Legend Yaiba was headed in that direction. But it's beautiful, gorgeous anime. It's a me thing, though. But that's all we got for the drop shows. We're going to talk about some of the shows going into summer season if we're watching them. I'm only watching 1 out of the 3, kind of watching it. I might drop it, I'm sorry. But Gachiakuta, Tokenanki, and Watari-kun's Triple X is about to collapse. Are you watching any of these?
So I've been watching all of these in some part. I'm current with Gachiakuta and Togenanki. Wataru-kun, I think I'm around episode like 4 or 5, and it's another one that kind of wasn't necessarily dropped, but it was certainly left to the wayside due to time. I will say I'm surprised that it is apparently getting 2 cores back to back. If nothing else, that kind of makes me more interested to keep going, because these type of shows, that just surprises me that they're giving that much time to a show that, at least from what I've seen so far, is much more of like a rom-com type thing. Like, just don't really see that a lot.
Yeah. Well, I have not caught up to Gachiakuta at this point. It's an interesting premise. I think I'm excited to see it go further. I'm on Twitter a lot because Twitter is a good place to get people just saying the maddest, most insane crap about anime. And I've just fallen into this horny hole for people who watch Tokenanki. I have seen nothing but girls from Tokenanki. And you know the one I'm talking about. You know the one. I don't know her name, but the blonde
Is it the one who has the hair that almost kind of... Well, that doesn't actually narrow it down.
Oh my god!
Are you talking about the girl who has the hair that kind of looks like bunny ears?
Maybe I don't. I'd have to see. I'd have to see the character. I just know she's the one that they were like, she babies people so much that they die.
Oh no, that's not the one I was thinking of. Then that is one of the two blonde girls. So hold on, Matt. I got here. I actually got so I can send you real quick because this is a situation with Togenaki where it's a similar thing to what I have say with One Piece, where in One Piece you can tell Oda has a type. And all I'm saying is in Togenaki, you can tell that the guy who draws this, he has a type. Hold on.
Okay, what live on the pod? What am I looking at here?
So these are like...
Oh my god, what is going on with that woman?
So these are like the first three, like, I'd say these are like the three primary female characters that... Actually, there's like a fourth who's kind of introduced towards the later part of this first part who also fits with the trend.
Oh my god.
But I'm saying, you can kind of tell what I'm getting at with the whole, this guy clearly has a type, I feel.
Yeah, so for the listeners at home who can't see this because we're not a visual podcast, Grenth has just shared me 3 anime characters, both who are going to have future back problems when they leave their teenage years because their breasts are bigger than their heads.
Yeah. So
Good
the one on top is like one of the not like main cast. The two on the bottom are like, I'd say that there are 2 of the female characters in the main cast, but they are the 2 female characters in the main cast. So,
oh my god,
there you go.
Insane. They're very, just they're such full-bodied women here. Such full-bodied women here in Togenaki.
Like we said at the start, this is a very thick anime season.
Yeah, and Togenaki's took that personally. I've seen nothing but like people just kind of mocking Togenaki or showing like the lewdest things from Togenaki. Like there's also a doctor character who shows up in the latest episode who is also ridiculously oversized in the breast department.
Oh yeah.
Just homie said, I know what I want to draw and it's this. And so what? Good for you, buddy. Good for you, buddy.
Like, to a degree, kinda, yeah, because it's like, hey, you took the time and effort to learn how to draw, and you said, I'm gonna draw what I want to see, so I'm like, to a certain degree, I have to respect that,
Yeah, good on you. Like, literally, good on you, buddy. I wonder if the manga is this big, or if it's like whoever handled Togenaki was just enamored with these I don't know. Anyways, we're talking too much about Togenaki. Let's, Gotcha, Kuti. That's also a show.
Yeah, it's good. I will say the latest episode was kind of disturbing to me for reasons that I won't get into. Like it was, ooh, gosh, that one, bad feels. Not that the show. That's how to put it. Like just the latest episode kind of like skeeved me out, I guess would be the way to put it.
Oh, they give you what the girlies call the ick. Did you get the ick?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, you got the ick. Okay.
Mega ick.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I am not caught up. I've only watched 4 episodes, and I've heard a lot of people talk about it. I liked the direction that Gachakuta had in those first few episodes, but again, with so many other things that demanded my time, just, personal life and anime-wise, that I knew I'd like more than Gachakuta, I didn't indulge in it. Now, there is one anime that we're going to eventually talk about from the season that I wish I had just not given the time of day, but we'll get to it when we get to it, because I feel like it would have been better for me to just watch Gachakuta than give this anime my time. But we'll get to it when we get to it. But yeah, I'm going to get to it eventually. I think it's cool.
It is good. Like I said, there was a thing that gave me the ick, but I'd say I don't think that hopefully is going to occur again. And I'll say apart from that, it has been a good show so far. I thought it's been animated pretty well, and I'm interested with like how the powers work and everything. I think it's a solid battle shonen so far.
Yeah, I get the same vibe of it being a solid battle shonen. It's also by a female mangaka, so that's pretty cool.
Okay.
But yeah. I guess we'll move along to the shows we're going to talk about for this episode. If you don't have anything said about Watari-kun.
I mean, I haven't seen a ton of it. I basically, I'm not gonna lie. I basically saw like, oh, this looks like this. It looks like, oh, Crazy Girl. Interesting. Let me see where this goes. And like I said, I just haven't had a lot of time to watch a ton of it. It's been seemingly like pretty standard rom-com so far, seemingly, but I think it might go in some different directions.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really speak a ton on it because I haven't seen a ton of it.
That's fair. Well, I guess we'll move along into our cover shows, or the shows we watched. These will be going in alphabetical order. So if the show that you watch doesn't show up, it is because we didn't watch it. We don't know anything about it. But if you do, your show does show up. It'll be in alphabetical order. Matt, cut that flub. Okay, thank you, Matt. So we're going to start off. Throw in a borf. So go ahead and we'll start off with Apocalypse Bringer. Apocalypse Bringer. Yeah.
Apocalypse Bringer. Yeah. So this is one that I finished, and I said before in like the impression episode, this was basically felt like a combination of that time I got reincarnated as a slime and Overlord, and that has definitely held true so far. It did have a plot twist towards the end that I didn't see coming that kind of changed how I would view the world that it's taking place in, and it leaves me intrigued to see where things could go from here. I'll say there isn't a ton more than that. It's just sort of like if you like those types of shows where it's like someone's kind of building up their little empire or their little nation, stuff like Slime and Overlord. If you like those, I'd recommend it. I'd recommend giving it a shot. I'd probably recommend Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy over this, but that's another story. But yeah, this is like it's a solid show. I feel like, so I think I give it like a 7 out of 10, but it isn't one of the isekai that I would be willing to go to like bat for, but it's not bad.
Yeah, I didn't give it a chance either when you talked about it during the impressions. I like Slime. Overlord exists. I watched 2 episodes of it. So the premise is cool if it's done right. Obviously, I think Slime is mostly because Slime delves a little bit more in like weird economics and trading policies than anything else, which is cool. And then it suddenly has its godlike moments. But this is a cool name for an anime. I can't take that away from it.
Yeah, Apocalypse Bringer. It's interesting. I'll say like it's funny because I kind of have the opposite relationship with Slime and Overlord, where I really liked Overlord, and I watched, I think, the first season of Slime, and after that, I was just sort of like, I just wasn't into Slime all that much, but yeah, Apocalypse Bringer it's a 7 out of 10, really, is basically all I can say. Like, if you really like that sort of thing, it's worth giving it a shot, but at least so far, it hasn't done anything that I feel like is super impressive. Like I said, there was a really interesting plot twist towards the end that I feel like could take the show in some really interesting directions if they kind of, I guess the word would be if they have like the, not courage, but something along the lines like the courage to like try and go in those directions. But yeah, we'll just have to see if it does that, if it gets a season 2.
Yeah. And who knows if it'll get a season 2. The studio is Maho Film. I don't know anything that Maho Film's done. I'm literally looking through their anime listing, and I'm just like, I have not seen any of these anime. They all look like fantasy isekai. But if you've got a talent, you got to keep to it, But if you want to go watch this Apocalypse Bringer Minagra, there you go, first try. You can go check it out on Crunchyroll, apparently.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got a mutual show, a show that Grenth inadvertently made me watch by showing me the coolest OP of the season, and that is Call of the Night Season 2. I liked... Okay, so first off, I didn't like Call of the Night Season 1 overwhelmingly. I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty cool. I didn't really like, and this is something that kind of shook me, that Ko Yamori got really high up in like the best boy category, because I don't really like Ko. I mostly like every other character but Ko. But Call of the Night basically punted that dude into almost tertiary, like secondary character status for a good chunk of it. And I think that might have been what made me like the season more. But it was a far superior season than season 1, in my opinion. How you feel about that?
All right, so full disclosure, this is one of the few shows where I'm basically gone into it with the mindset of I'm going to watch the dub, and the dub is very far behind. So I've seen like 5 episodes, I believe, at this point. And which, I mean, I have some impressions of where things are obviously going to go based off of stuff like the opening and also just what I have seen in these 5 episodes so far. But I'll say that I have very much enjoyed what has been on display so far. Like, I think that it's exploring some areas that the first season didn't really explore, some obvious ways, but also just in like the way, because I'm trying to avoid spoilers as well.
But this is a spoiler-free cast, so any listener at home, you don't have to worry about that.
I basically like to say that it's been really intriguing. I'm looking forward to seeing where things go, and like you, I wasn't the biggest fan of season 1. I enjoyed it, but I wasn't super into it. But as soon as I saw the opening for this season, I was like, okay, this is much more interesting to me. I'm like, this looks like this is going to go in some crazy directions, and I'm curious to see how it all unravels. So
yeah. Well, again, when we were talking about the seasonal, we were talking about OPs and stuff and the impressions, and I watched it live on the record, and I said, yo, Call of the Night, what are you doing for season 2? So this OP really got me wanting to watch the full thing, and I feel validated because season 2 is way better than season 1, because it kind of does put the slice of life antics on the back pedal, and you've just seen in the first 5 seasons, there's higher stakes in this new season. There's what could concretely be called an antagonist.
Oh yeah,
for
I feel like I've already met them.
Yeah, some would say yes. There's a very definitive antagonist. So you've seen that scene where a character basically threatens Ko pretty heavily, right? Okay, I don't know. I don't remember where the fifth episode ended, but yeah, I get bad feelings from that character, and I'm like, that's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the big bad right there. I know it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, it's the thing of where I guess it would depends on like if you're calling like the bad guy or just the antagonist, but there could almost be like 2 bad guys or 2 antagonists seemingly so far from where I am in this season.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that is true. But this season definitely brought it up. Brought kind of the heat a lot harder for me. Maybe I do like it when we just drop all the pretenses of slice of life stuff and just go kind of a little bit more just what's a good phrase for this, thriller, kind of make this into more of a thriller anime than a slice of life isn't the night great, and make it more of a drama as well. So I liked a lot of the stuff. Hopefully we can talk about Call of the Night like as a dedicated episode or something, because I really want to talk about the ending. I was hoping that we could talk about the ending and just be coy about it and be like, oh, when that thing happened. Oh yeah, when that thing happened. But that's cool. Thank you again for making me watch the show by being like, yo, look at this thing. Isn't it cool?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm happy to do that. Like, like I said, I've really enjoyed it. Like, I'd be down to do a dedicated episode. I definitely have to try and think more on it and come up with some better talking points, because I'm not gonna lie, my notes for this was really short. I had like one thing because, like I said, I just haven't seen a ton of it, so I'm just gonna have to really dig into it. But yeah, I've been loving it so far, and it's one where I am watching it weekly. I wish that the dub was coming out sooner, but I guess High Dive is just really late on it.
Yeah, that tracks for High Dive as far as I'm familiar with their game. Well, if you do want to watch the show, it is on High Dive, but apparently they are slowing down on the dub. What is next on the dock?
Next up, we have another mutual show, and it's mutual because I made you watch it. That is Clevatess, which was my pick for the show trade, where we're just like, all right, you watch this, I watch this, and yeah. Clevatess.
Yeah, Clevatess. We basically traded each other fantasy anime, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, Clevatess. I would say honestly, kind of a little bit of a hidden gem. It's not overwhelmingly, reinventing the fantasy anime wheel, but it's a solid enough anime if you like that kind of show.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like this was the show I voted for, honestly, in the show of the season, just because I enjoyed it quite a bit. And like I said in the impressions, one of the things I absolutely love about it is the visuals, but as I watched more of it, I also just really loved seeing how the story was unfolding and how essentially the world was also to a degree unfolding before your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like how it ends, because I feel like, in a way, even though it does make sense with everything that came before it, it honestly almost kind of surprised me with the way that it ended, because I feel like it could have very easily gone in a different direction that was more like, that had more potential to be like action packed and stuff.
Yeah.
And instead we're going in a direction that feels like it could be more, not necessarily slice of life, but more along those lines. I'm sure there's going to be all sorts of drama with a show like this still, so.
Yeah, I'm sure that with the direction the ending took, that we're not going to be going full on Silent Witch as far as the next plot point. But yeah, but what I've called the show when Earthworm and I were talking about it in past episodes was I would call it like Berserk Training Wheels. It is a darker fantasy. There's a lot of things that are just kind of messed up. Like every single time, and I'm surprised she didn't make it because she was one of my favorite characters of the season, Alicia. Just the abuse that Alicia has to go through, and this show is rough. At one point, there's a combat encounter where she says, "Well, I get to live if I fall from a really tall height. They don't."
Yeah.
I said, "Alicia, girl, don't do this to yourself." And she said, "I got dark Inkor, I'm gonna live." And then I had to watch this girl bring herself back together, and I said, "Ooh, I don't like that."
Yeah, like I saw some people talking about like a thing that happens, a gruesome thing that happens like at the very end of the season, and how it was so gruesome and stuff. And while it definitely was, I honestly feel like that scene that you're referring to with Alicia was worse, just because of, I think for me, part of it was just the slow pan over the aftermath of what she did. And then also just the fact that it was, I guess, more grounded in that, oh, well, this is something that could potentially happen in reality. And that makes it, I guess, more disturbing to me.
Yeah, well, it's the fact that there were like bones and stuff. The thing we're talking about, it happens in the last episode, and it is comically gory.
Yeah.
It's basically, imagine if someone said like they got hit by a car and then a safe fell on them, and then the safe had dynamite in them, and then when the dynamite exploded, then it caused a hydrogen bomb to go off. That's what the final scene of Clevatess was, and I said, this is just comical. It's not that gruesome. It's just silly.
Yeah.
It's just Clevatess saying like, "Remember me? I'm still messed up, buddy." Because as I mentioned when I was talking about Clevatess, because I liked the show. Like, this is a good reg. I liked the show. I was surprised by how into the show I was. I watched it in a single sitting. Or like I say a single sitting, but like I watched it in 2 sittings. I would have watched it in a single sitting if the final episode had been out. But I enjoyed it. I liked the darkness of Clevatess, but then there was a time when a female character would show up on screen. I'm like, oh, please don't do anything horrible to her. And then Clevatess said, I'm about to do something horrible to her, and I was like, Clevatess, don't do it.
Yeah, Clevatess does like to do that quite a bit.
But it is cool. I like the premise. I like the Clevatess, the character. He is basically taking care of a little girl or a little boy. Well, I don't remember what Luna is, but a baby. That's what it is, Matt.
Yeah.
All right, takes care of a baby just because he's like, I want to see what humans are like. I'll raise one. And he says, you know what? I'm gonna use this baby too for political power. And I say, Clevatess, you sly dog.
Yeah.
It's a fun premise. I like the magic system of Clevatess with using the raw, like the minerals and all that.
Oh yeah, it's interesting, especially because like it feels like at first it could have been going in a different direction, and then they're like, all right, I guess that you get to see like different levels of it. Like you get to see like the very low end, and then also the very high end, and how the two differ. both in like power and also in like how they are done, if that makes sense. Yeah, the magic is very cool. It's very interesting. There are some areas where I just want to know more. I want the secrets. How does it work? What is everything? How do all these pieces fit together? It has, which that's one of the good things about it, is that it does have a lot of mysteries, in the world, and how everything works. Like, without giving too much away, like I feel like there's a ton of questions that it could answer going forward.
Yeah, well, it's a good world, or at least for if you like fantasy, this is a good fantasy world, because too much fantasy that we've seen in some isekais, they don't care about the world, they just care about the characters. And I think, like, you think about good fantasy properties like Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Rings, I don't know too much fantasy, Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. You think about like Middle Earth, like Tolkien's Middle Earth, and you think about a really expanded world that kind of grounds his characters. And Clevatess is trying to do that now. It's not Lord of the Rings. I'm not saying it's Lord of the Rings, but it understands what's important in a fantasy world. And that's what I think makes the difference, is that when there's combat between two nations and you figure out what's going on and why they want these weapons, these regalia or whatever, you're like, okay, yeah, this is opening up the world instead of just, dropping more. It's instead of like just, I guess a good term, instead of just giving you candy and saying this is your dinner, it's surprising you. That's not a good analogy. All right, you know what? Analogy over. Good anime. There you go. That's what I gotta say.
Yeah.
Good anime.
Last thing I would say is that, we were talking a little bit about the characters. I do really enjoy the characters like Clevatess and Alicia. And I will say, like, if there was one character that I would have nominated for the best girl category, it honestly would have been Nellaroo. I feel like she deserves it.
Okay, yeah, she was delightful. I love her. I loved her transformation and stuff. She's really cute.
Yeah, I want to give it to her both for that and also because I'm like, oh, she just deserves it. Like this poor lady needs a hug.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially after all she went through. But
exactly.
I hope we get. I can't wait for. I hope we get. We're getting a season 2, so I can't wait for it.
Oh yeah, I'm really, definitely looking forward to that.
Solid wreck. You get a gold star. You made up for after being like Shuji family children.
Is this going to be how it goes? Is that's just one is just like absolute miss, and the other is like home run?
Oh yeah, maybe it is. I don't know what you're going to wreck from. I guess we're going to have to pick our wrecks for this season. Jeez.
Good lord.
Good lord. You better think about that. I don't know what I've not seen a single thing from this season, so I'm going to be like, yeah, Grant, go watch this anime that I've not seen anything of, and then we're going to like do the season review, and I'll be like, oh man, I hate this anime. But no, hopefully you do not keep the trend and pick an absolute dog water anime next time. But regardless, I think it's a solid 8 out of 10 anime from me.
Yeah, I'd agree. 8, maybe a 9 for me, but yeah, it's around there.
Okay. All right. Well, speaking of solid 8 out of 10 anime, next up we got Dandadan Season 2. I did an episode on this, so I'm not going to talk too much. How are you feeling about this season?
I mean, if I could, I'm gonna say more, but if I would sum it up in a sentence, I'd just say it's more Dandadan. Like that's things. It kind of feels like the core 2 that we didn't get, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I've really been enjoying how it continues. I love the romance between Okarun and Momo. I'd say it's probably the best romance that I've seen in like a battle shonen type show. I can't think of any others that I feel like are better, because I'm not going to lie, from what I've seen, battle shonen doesn't tend to do the romance all that great, at least from the stuff I've seen, if they do it at all. And also enjoy how the show just keeps bringing in like just all these new things from like cryptids or aliens, stuff like that, and it's just, I enjoy seeing that sort of stuff because it's like, okay, this person obviously did a bunch of research into all these different things in order to keep bringing in new stuff. And also just some of the creativity that's on display, where sometimes it's not even necessarily a like new cryptid or new alien thing, so it's just like spirit stuff, and they can be very creative with how they do that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say really looking forward to how it goes in season 3, especially with how it ended. And again, I know you guys did your episode, and you were spoiler on there, but I'm not going to get spoiler on here. But all I'll say is that I'm not sure how I feel about it continuously doing cliffhangers.
Yeah.
Because it kind of feels like, okay, well now, like I said before, season 1 ended, and it kind of feels like season 2 was like, oh, this was like the core 2 that we didn't get. And now it feels like, oh, is season 3 going to be like the core 3 that we didn't get? You know, like, that part I'm not super... I'm not like, it's not like a negative yet, but if it keeps happening over and over, I don't know how I'm going to feel about it.
Yeah, season 2 ending the way it did made me pick up the manga, so... I mean, maybe that's the point, is to get you so intrigued you go and read the manga, but it works. I mean, I've got those manga. I've subbed to Viz and Shonen Jump, so it's like, well, I'm paying you money anyways, so I might as well use you. So it did that, but I do agree. Now the story ends. You wait for more. It's kind of infuriating.
All right, but yeah, that's basically what I have to say about Dandadan. I've enjoyed it. Still, looking forward to see what happens next. But I believe you're next up have Grand Blue Dreaming.
Yes, Grand Blue Dreaming season 2. I watched season 1, not really fully aware how quick season 2 was coming out, but I'm glad I did it because it's more Grand Blue Dreaming, one of the best comedy anime. I nominated Iori from this as my best boy, and he did not make it, unfortunately. I nominated you and Iori, and I was like, because I love Iori. He's such a crappy person, but he's also such a wonderful person at the same time. He's such a piece of trash who's just awful, but he's so true to himself, and legitimately true to himself, and I love it. But Grand Blue Dreaming season 2, it's more Grand Blue Dreaming. It is directed by the same director as the first 100 something episodes of Gintama. It's got a lot of the same humor. It's a lot of absurdity. It's a lot of overreactions played up to comedic effect. It's a lot of subverting your expectations by just the extreme changes in character. It's so much funny, and it's got such a weird heart as well to it. The diving of Grand Blue Dream, because it's about a dive shop, and it's about some characters who are interested in the hobby of diving and their relationships. This season had a lot more drama. There were several characters who thought other characters were interested in them romantically, and there was drama, but it was Grand Blue Dreaming drama, you know?
Okay.
There was no weight to it. It wasn't, oh, I love him, but I don't know if he loves me. It was, he saw me naked, and now I think he loves me. And it's just, yeah, okay. But it was fun. This season was a lot of fun. If you like comedy anime, Grand Blue Dreaming is where it's at. I think it is. I've adored these first 2 seasons. IKEA Plant keeps calling me Kohei from this, and I don't like that, because I also see myself in Kohei, and I don't like that either. But
gotcha.
Yeah, but it's fun. A fun show. It's adult characters. Well, they're in college, but adult. They're not high schoolers, so that's cool. They drink. The whole first season, it felt like they were constantly drinking alcohol, and in this season, they kind of dialed it back with the drinking alcohol. Maybe the first season, maybe they got in trouble for the first season, because I swear there was never half of every single episode they were getting drunk or they were getting naked. And this new season, they were getting naked far less, and it was just more, I think, a lot less partying involved, and a lot more just humor and shenanigans that didn't involve getting wasted. So good for them. Season 3 already got announced at the end of this season, so I'm super, super excited that they're picking up the pace and giving us more. I'm considering getting into the manga just because I want to know where the character relationships end up. I've got a feeling I know who's going to get paired off with each other just because of the way they're written, but at the same time, there's 2 competing characters for Iori. And I'm not sure who's gonna win the Iori Cup, or Iori Bowl, whatever we want to call his romantic affections. So yeah, Grand Blue Dreaming season 2. I recommend Grand Blue Dreaming to anybody who's interested in comedy anime. I think it's pretty good. But speaking of things that are also here, next up we got Kaiju number 8, season 2. What are we feeling about this?
I enjoyed this one quite a bit. I will say it makes me curious how much longer the story is going to go, because it feels like I'm kind of getting like, feels like we're setting up for a finale almost, if that makes sense already, which kind of just makes me curious. Like, with what they're doing now, I kind of don't know how they're going to top it later on. You know, it doesn't feel like this is we beat this bad guy, here's the next bad guy sort of situation, you know?
Yeah, I honestly, when we the final few episodes, I said, is this are we getting close to a finale already? It feels like I just started Kaiju number 8, you know?
Yeah.
I was kind of shook by how fast everything went. How everything just suddenly got to this point, you know?
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
I'm not sure how much there is to Kaiju number 8, because I don't, I'm unsure. I'm looking at the wiki real quick. It looks like this is close to the final arc, honestly, which means that I'll have to keep watching Kaiju number 8 if I'm that close to ending, because I'm going to be honest with you. I did not enjoy this season as much as I enjoyed the first season. This season was a lot more action heavy. And don't get me wrong, the first season was action heavy as well, but I felt like I got to learn more about the characters in that first arc. Meanwhile, as a lot of this arc had a lot of, there was an entire thing where not Shinomiya, I can't remember his name. He was Reno went to go learn how to use his, went to go learn how to use his weapon, and with Sharktooth guy, and I was so disconnected from that episode. I was so disconnected from several episodes and several sequences in the second season, which is a shame because it is beautiful. There are some cuts in this, and like some action cuts in this anime that are sublime. Like, if you like shonen action, this is your place. But I didn't particularly care for it. I thought some of it was overdone. I just wasn't that interested in it,
Yeah, I get that. I definitely see what you're talking about with like where it was a lot more action, and I'm not gonna lie, you talked about like the stuff with Reno. I agree that wasn't like my favorite part by any means. I do wish that there was more of the character stuff, and like you're saying, it feels like this is kind of the opposite problem that at least a lot of like older Battle Shonen had, of like where I'm like, man, if this is like one more season and it's done, it's like, I kind of would wish that we would get some more, like it's some more character development and interaction and stuff, because there was some stuff that I felt like was somewhat interesting, going on with like Kafka and I forget her name, but like sort of the main girl in the series.
Is it Mika or I can't his childhood friend, or Shinomiya?
Shinomiya.
I don't remember Shinomiya's name because it's the same last name as Kaguya from Kaguya-sama.
Gotcha. Wait. Actually, hold on. I'm talking about the girl who's the blonde with like the twin tails. Is that it?
Yeah,
that's
Shinomiya. That's Shinomiya.
Okay. I'm just making sure that I've got the names attached to the right characters. I feel like there could have been like there was some stuff with her, but it feels again like you could have explored it more, and that could have like given, I don't know, just some more meat to the bone, because it's a lot of action.
Yeah, given what happens to her at the start of the season, she is kind of just out there she's just out there, given the circumstance. Again, no spoilers, but I was expecting more of a lingering sort of shadow to, be on her after the start of the season. But she's already out there. Gets an upgrade that I wish I had learned more about. Like, I get that they saw the background. They're like, well, this kaiju, her mom actually used this kaiju, and it's a really interesting kaiju. And I like the concept of the kaiju weapons, that each numbered kaiju they beat gets to turn into a weapon. That's cool. That is really cool. But I'm not. I feel like the biggest payoff for it was at the end of season 1, where you got to see Isao use his kaiju weapon, and it was absolutely just beating Kafka around.
Oh yeah.
But this season, just with this overwhelming action, I just didn't get into it as much. But it's a good action like there's a lot of good action cuts and a lot of good action in this season. So if you like action anime, then you're going to be stuffed full with this one.
Oh yeah. And I mean, like I said, I enjoy that stuff, so I enjoyed this one quite a bit. Thinking back on it now, though, I do wish there had been some more like information given on things, because I like sometimes some stuff I feel like some shonen, like I think of like One Piece, and I'm like, I don't need all of the information that you sometimes give me about some of these places in One Piece. But there would be nice to get like some, because there is stuff like with Kafka's, I can't remember her name, but his childhood friend, like she has some stuff that she's doing towards the very end where I'm like, I'd like to know more about this thing that she's utilizing, this weapon. And instead it's just sort of like, it's just here. And I'm like, oh, well, it's cool. Wish I knew more about it, but it's cool, I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing about Kaiju number 8 is it's cool. Wish I knew more about it, though.
Yeah, and it is kind of a shame that it's just going to seemingly probably end next season, if I had to guess, or 1, maybe 2 more. Because, I mean, from what I've... Like, Demon Slayer was, from what I heard, even in, like, the manga phase, was, like, a pretty short battle shonen. And by the time these movies are done, it's probably going to be around, like, the, 90-ish episode length?
Yeah.
So for this to pull maybe, like, half of that... it's a shame, honestly.
Well, it's looking like, just looking over the wiki real quick, that it's on chapter 90 out of 129 chapters. So maybe next season will be the last chapter, or the last season. Or maybe because I don't know how they're going to handle it. I don't know anything about the manga. But I will say one thing. That I did like about this, even as much as Kaiju number 8 season underwhelmed me, the new Kaiju revealed at the end, scary.
Yeah.
The one Kaiju that Shinomiya fights, I said, oh no, I don't like that at all. That's
yeah. I felt like that was going to be more of a thing, you know, like there would have been some more discussion of what that Kaiju looks like, and instead it seems like everybody's just like, oh no, this is fine, we're just rolling with it.
Yeah, they're just like, yeah, of course it looks like this. Look at this thing. What do you mean? It's I don't know, man.
I feel like there's going to be some sort of thing where there's going to be this, it's going to attempt to do this big reveal of like people finally putting it together, and I'm like, did you not have eyes? Look at that thing. Like, I feel like they're going to try and do that. But,
yeah, I don't know. I feel like either Kaiju number 8 as an anime only is either going to at the end just shrug its shoulders and say, what do you want from me? Or maybe overindulge. I don't know. Really and truly, there's so much about the season I didn't like. I don't like that Kaiju number 9 is seemingly going to be the big bad, because Kaiju number 9 looks so stupid. I hate Kaiju number 9's design, and I just don't find it intimidating as much as I just find it to be just grody looking. I don't know, but you know. 6 out of 10 from me.
Okay. I'd probably give it like an 8, but you know, I like the action stuff.
Yeah, you like the action stuff. I like action too, but by the end I was getting bored, really bored.
I mean, I like it enough to where I'm practically caught up on One Piece, so you know, there's that.
That's true. Okay, and next up we got My Dress Up Darling Season 2. More Dress Up Darling. Marin Kitagawa didn't make it to the top 2 best girl. What happened? Why is the empire crumbling?
I mean, if you're asking me, I don't know.
Well, I didn't think you'd have the answer anyways. It was for everybody who could participate. What did you think about this season? Are you caught up to it? Did you finish?
Yeah.
I don't know how the dub works.
Yeah, this one was like I think just 2 weeks behind on the dub, like normal Crunchyroll time, which given how other shows got delayed, it wound up working out to where I was able to finish it in dub just this morning. I liked it. I honestly think that I probably preferred season 1 a little bit. But it was still really good. It was still a lot of fun. What did you think?
I actually enjoyed this season more than I enjoyed the first season.
Okay. What was it about this one that you preferred?
I actually like the expanded cast in My Dress Up Darling. If you're a regular listener of this podcast or anything I do, you know I don't like Wakana Gojo that much. I don't find him that interesting of a protagonist. I don't really enjoy him. I think he's annoying. He just annoys me. But this season, having more characters for him to bounce off of, especially the students around him and his school, and the little arc where they're making the costume that Marion wears for the school, the school dress up. I can't remember what it's called, but the costume that he makes, and the little arc where he goes like, "Oh wait, they're pretty chill about me making stuff. Maybe I'm the problem. I'm thinking that people won't like me because of this one circumstance." Which I like that character shift, like that shift from Gojo being people won't like me to, oh, maybe I'm kind of thinking about it wrong. So I like the cast opening up, having the student cast fleshed out, having the other cosplayers get more involved. I like that. I think that's kind of what put me off of the first Dress Up Darling season, was that while I like Maureen well enough, I'm not simping for her in those extreme ways that I've seen online, but just having her bounce off one character was not enough for me to like that first season. But with more characters, I liked it more.
All right. I feel like maybe I enjoyed season 1 more because it felt, I guess, more focused on Marin and Gojo. Because I do like Gojo. Maybe it's because I guess I feel like I relate to him to a degree. I mean, I can see what you're talking about though, because I did enjoy seeing some of the other characters. Like I really did like Akira from this season, and I mean, getting to see like the cosplays was cool as well. I do like getting the information about that, because it's something that I might potentially be somewhat interested in at some point in the future. I mean, I will say, like, I guess what they didn't do it in its best favor was when I was binging it all this morning, was there was a certain part where it wasn't involved I'll just say the game that they were discussing. There was a certain point, there was a certain episode at a certain point where I was just like, ugh, this... I did not expect the out of left field ick to come from My Dress Up Darling of all places.
Can I be honest with you? I think that might be why I like this season more, because I the only art I've ever been adept at has been pixel art. So when they were doing the pixel art stuff for the game they were playing, I said, "Yo, look at this! These are all pixels. What's going on? This is crazy." I loved that little mini arc. Honestly,
oh yeah, the art was cool. The art was cool.
Yeah, the content of the art was not cool. Yeah, the food, the sequence involving the ketchup and all that. Yeah, I can get how that'd be off-putting.
Yeah, like it was. Yeah. It was like, oh, this food looks great. Doesn't taste very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that might have put me off a little bit, but overall, I did really enjoy the second season. I hope that it gets more, because I'd like to see where things go. I know that's one of these rom-coms that might go on for years, but I'm a sucker for those, so what can I say?
Yeah, I was expecting the ending to give us more progression than it actually did, but at the same time, I had a lot more fun with this season than the first one. So I hope it gets more too, if it kind of keeps consistent, I guess. But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't take as long to get season 3.
Yeah, it did take 3 years, 4 years? It took a while.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've heard, I think that's probably due to, from what I understand, it was only planned to be one season to start with. And then I think wasn't just that the first season was so successful that they wound up then greenlighting a second season. So I imagine that had something to do with it, assuming that what I heard is correct.
Yeah. I think that we both enjoyed it adequate enough. Again, 8 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, it'd probably be around there.
Above the first season. I gave the first season a 7. So maybe things will pick up and we'll get more drama or something like that, but it's a nice little comfy watch. I watched it week to week with Kiri, so I got kind of the slow experience. I think this might have been the first show I finished from the season, oddly enough. But yeah, My Dress Up Darling, season 2. Next up is Secrets of the Silent Witch. This is my show trade to you, so we both have watched it. How'd you feel about this?
I really like this one. This was a great recommendation. This is probably one of the better shows from the season for me. Like, it was just such good vibes a lot of the times. You know, it also made me emotional quite a few times. I can relate to Monica a bit, I feel like, with how she's just so incredibly anxious about everything. And I mean, it also had like one special note that I did put down, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a person who doesn't tend to recognize music a lot of the times, apart outside of like OPs and EDs and stuff, because I'm just focused more on like the show. So music has to be really good to like catch my attention. And I feel like there was a few times watching this show where it honestly was like some great music. I just think of like times where they would even bring like in the vocals a bit with the music, and it was honestly giving me some Expedition 33 vibes at times with that, which that's considering how I feel about that game, that is high praise coming from me.
I get what you're saying. The music in the show it's sublime. I love the music in the show. I love the OP and ED as well. They're really set you up for this fantasy world and for the comfy fantasy vibes. I love Monica too. Monica was my girl. She's my girl. I love her. I love her anxiety. I love how they play it as a legitimate issue during social situations, but also for for perfect comedy. She's adorable. She is so much fun to watch. I love how the show basically blends like so many genres together. It's a fantasy show. It's a slice of life show in some degrees. It's an OP fantasy character in other ways, since her ability being she just can cast spells without chanting. It makes her really OP. And then you've also got
it's also like a mystery show at times.
It's a mystery show. It's got a little bit of romance in there as well between her and the second prince. It's got everything. It's got everything. It's a perfect salad of an anime. What more could you want? I'm so shocked by how much I liked the show. I thought I was just when somebody recommended it to me, I said, "Oh well, I'll watch it." This person said high praises of it, but I don't know. Fantasy sometimes bounces off for me. But this show, like you were just saying, it got me emotional multiple times. The final episode made me cry so hard when they were at the bookstore.
I understand that. Like that scene didn't necessarily, I don't remember that scene making me tear up super much, but I was also possibly a bit drained because I was coming off of Hikaru and My Dress Up Darling to watch this. So it was, God, it was a roller coaster of emotions this morning watching this stuff, because all I'm gonna say is I finished Hikaru, My Dress Up Darling, which had its moments of, oh God. Then I think I watched that episode 13 of Gachiakuda I mentioned. Then Togenaki, so it was a real roller coaster this morning for me. But
good Lord, you had the Thanksgiving anime dinner.
Oh gosh, there was a couple things I wish were not on the plate. I'm not gonna lie.
That's fair. I spaced my stuff out on this season just because everything was so good, so I didn't feel like I had to force myself to do anything. I did have to force myself to watch With You in the Rain at the end, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, I can get that. After seeing all that, maybe the ending sequence with her in the bookshop is not going to be as compelling as it was for me, who was watching this weekly.
Oh, but I say that, but I want to say I completely understand why. Like, I get why that would probably make me tear up, like on a rewatch or something. Like it. I get why that would hit someone so hard.
Well, there's so many elements in the show that ended up getting me really bad. Several episodes really kind of resonated with me emotionally, especially Monica's difficulties with her anxiety or her social anxiety. There's an episode midway through involving one of her friends being forced to leave, and that one got me pretty choked up. A lot of it just got me really choked up. Maybe it is because I like Monica so much and because she's such a sweet little butterbean, but I think it's also just that the other characters are fun to watch as well. Her friend with the buns, I can't remember her name, but I also really liked her too.
I'm pretty sure I remember who you're talking about. I think she helped out with some hair at one point.
Yeah, she's the one that taught Monica about how to do her hair and stuff.
Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah, I like her. Colette, Lana.
Okay.
Lana.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like there was a point where I was wondering, like, is this? I was almost where if it would almost go kind of reverse harem route a bit with Monica. I'm not gonna lie, because there's the prince, but there's also like at least the one other dude who also seems to be into her. And there's a few times I was like, I wonder if it's going in that direction.
That's what I thought I was gonna go to as well. I was anticipating a reverse harem, but it never really got that far. I mean, it was basically just Cyril. His name's Cyril. Yeah. Cyril and Felix were the kind of interested in her, but mostly I feel like it's more Felix than any other character is interested in her, especially after the final arc. But
yeah, to be honest, there's a part of me that kind of wishes it would go in that way, because I would just love to see how Monica with her anxiety would react to that sort of situation. Like if all the boys are just fighting over her, I just see Monica at the center of that, just like doing her thing where she just can't speak and is just like freaking out.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun to see. And just Nero, her companion, just egging her on.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, Nero, he's so good. I love that
Nero.
cat.
Yeah, I love Nero as well. I like all the characters in this, really. The characters they wanted me to hate, I really hated. When Bernie is introduced, I said, like, if you talk to Monica like that, I see you on the streets. It's on sight. It's on sight, Bernie. I will take you down. I don't care if you've got magic. I will maim you. I don't care if you're a child. You talk to Monica like that, it's on sight. It's on sight, homie. I don't care. I don't care, Bernie. Bernie Jones. What kind of name is that? Got too stupid, dumb name. Bernie Jones. I hate Bernie.
I can tell.
Also, yeah, I do, dude. He made me so, like, legitimately fist clenching anger when he was talking down to Monica at the chess match and stuff. I was clenching my fist. I was getting mad.
I get it. I hated him too.
He's such a prick. Such a freaking douche, dude. I could not stand him. But because he's also, not only is he a stupid douche, he's also an actual stupid douche, like double stupid, because he's dumb and he's also a jerk. Because how could you? I don't know. I'm ranting. But Claudia, also like Claudia, she was fun to see. The girls who also kind of almost killed Monica, also vehemently mad at them.
Oh yeah, them. Those were. Yeah, they were. Let's just say I think that they probably got into the school due to their connections than to tests.
Absolutely. But great show, wonderful show.
Oh yeah, great recommendation.
Thank you. I give this like a 9.5.
Yeah, I'd give it a solid 9. Mm-hmm. Oh, I forgot to say. Also, Maria, you mentioned that the OP was really good too, but I was gonna say, oh yeah, this is like one of, in my opinion, one of the 4 great OPs from this season.
Yeah, it's a shame it didn't make it. It didn't make it to the finals.
Yeah, if any listeners can't tell, there might be a certain award that I feel the most passionate about.
That's fair. I liked seeing where the awards went, so I'm kind of surprised where things ended up. Again, anytime With You in the Rain got into those places, I was like, that's wild. What's next?
Up next is See You Tomorrow at the Food Court.
Yeah. Good show.
Yeah.
Hey, there's only 6 episodes.
Yeah, I do wish that it was longer, because it was a ton of fun watching the 2 goofballs hang out at the mall. Just, I just wish we got more. Wada was another potential contender for me for best girl, I'm not gonna lie. She was just so much fun.
That's funny. I much preferred Yamamoto.
Yeah. I get that. Like, for me, I think it was just Wada just being absolutely insane at times. Like, I loved her with the whole gotcha stuff, and where she was so attached to the one character, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Wada was a little gremlin this entire season.
Yeah.
Just
I guess that tracks with me, I'm not gonna lie. That tracks with me liking the gremlin character.
Yeah, she was an absolute gremlin through this entire season. It was constantly just Wada being insane about something, be it food court food or not eating, like not going to the dent, just regular, just Wada being absolutely just a gremlin, and then Yamamoto saying like, "That's you're being insane," and then she would just escalate even higher. It was pretty fun. They're intermingling was probably the real best girl of the season was them together.
Oh yeah, for sure. I completely get that because I mean Yamamoto was also. I think I said that right. Was also great. Like I love both of them. They're both great. Like I was saying before, wish that there was more of this. It's a shame that there was only the 6 episodes. Is it gonna get any more, or is it like a one and done sort of thing?
I was curious about it. I've not seen anything. I think it probably is a one and done.
Oh.
Just I'm not sure. I think it's based off like a web manga. But so it could easily be something that comes back later on as another 6 episode or something. But just going through, because this studio is like another studio that's not done a whole lot. It was established in 2020. Atelier Pont d'Arc. They did Uncle from Another World. That one isekai I talked about for all of a second, No Longer Allowed in Another World, and Ganbari Doki-chan. They don't have a lot to their name. It seems like they just put out an anime every year. So small time. But I don't know if they're going to come back to it. I don't think they will. Just guessed off their track record.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look like they tend to return to things.
Yeah, well, it's probably just because they're not exactly a studio that's going to... I don't know anything about the studio, so I'm not going to make bold declarations about this in particular. But I don't think they're attached to projects that particularly have a lot of esteem to them. So
yeah,
whoever is responsible for this web manga probably said like, yeah, make a web manga. Here you go. Sell me a few more copies. I don't know. I'm leaving now. I don't know. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing about anything. But this was a good watch. I do like it kind of gave me reminiscent of not hard Lucky Star vibes, but kind of in the same ballpark as Lucky Star, just because it was characters talking about casual things and then one of them flying off the deep end, which is kind of just like Konata and Tsubasa from Lucky Star kind of energy. Or not Tsubasa, I can't remember her name, but you know, the Lucky Star fans know what I'm talking about.
Unfortunately, I don't, as I have not seen Lucky Star, but
you'd probably like Lucky Star.
I mean, if it's like this, probably.
It's a lot more energetic and a lot more shenanigan filled.
I mean, I enjoy shenanigans, so, you know.
Yeah,
I'll probably have to check it out at some point.
There you go. Lucky Stars is full of shenanigans. It's got a dub, too. It's
okay.
got a dub. There you go. Got a dub. Did this have a dub? I don't watch dubs.
I don't know. I'm not, like, hard married to dubs. Like, I'll watch stuff that doesn't have them. I tend to prefer dubs if they're available, but, you know. I'll say this is definitely one that I watched subbed because it's one that I assumed this probably isn't going to get a dub.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't see it getting a dub either, just because they have got a lot of product placement in this anime too. Between KFC, one of the coffee shops they kept showing off was a real coffee shop. They just so much product placement in this show.
Was there ice cream product placement as well? Was that like Baskin Robbins?
Yeah, they went to Baskin Robbins.
Okay, let's see, because I know they did that a ton, whatever that ice cream was.
Yeah, well, they went to that coffee shop. That coffee shop's also an Asian brand coffee shop.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of product placement. Maybe
I
that's
mean,
what they
hey.
had. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's probably what they had to do to keep the lights on.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that kind of thing doesn't really bother me all that much. So, I mean, if that's what it takes to get more of a show like this, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, it made me want KFC. So
as long as you aren't like literally doing an advertisement.
Yeah, it's not like Wada paused the show and said, "Hey, before we continue with this episode, pick up a 20-piece, well, I guess that's very American size for KFC. Pick up the 20-piece bucket." She didn't do that, so it wasn't intolerable. It kind of just made the world feel more real for what it's worth, but, you know. What do we have next, if we're done talking about this? A solid 8 out of 10 show, by the way.
Yeah, same. 8 out of 10. And next up, we got the Summer Hikaru Died. So, what did you think of this one, Matt?
I really liked the Summer Hikaru Died. I thought it was going to be my anime of the season before Silent Witch said, "Get out of here." It was a good horror anime. We need more good horror anime that are legitimately not. I wouldn't even say this was scary. Unnerving might be a better word. There are some thrilling parts, but I wasn't quaking with fear, wondering what was going to happen next. I'm glad that the Summer Hikaru Died never did hard jump scares, but I liked the show a lot. It's definitively my second place for my favorite anime of this season. I like the characters. I like kind of the little thinly veiled love, like BL that's going on. I liked that. I liked Hikaru and Yoshiki's relationship. There's a lot to like about the show. What'd you feel about it?
Yeah, so I also really did enjoy the show quite a bit. Like, to be honest, at least after like the first episode or two, it didn't really feel like that much of a horror thing to me. It felt more like a thriller. Mm-hmm. Honestly, towards like the later half of the show, it was honestly giving me kind of not to the same degree, but it felt like the show was kind of also changing into something a little bit different from what it started as, into much more of like a thriller and investigation sort of thing. But I did really enjoy what it brought to the table. Like, to me, the boys love stuff honestly didn't feel like there was that to be felt. I guess that there's a little bit of a veil there, but to me, felt pretty obvious. But I don't know, that might just be me. But I enjoy that. Like, there were some moments that are getting me a little bit emotional, honestly, and I'll say the way it ended really makes me look forward to season 2. I'd love to learn more about what is going on and how everything is working in this world. Like, I do really like the characters of like Yoshiki and Hikaru, and I'd say probably my favorite character is Sunglasses Guy. I don't remember his name at the moment, but I really want to learn more about him and what's going on with him, like everything that he's attached to and how he's doing the things that he does. Like, there really is like the mystery aspect to the show is something that I'm very interested in, to see what is going on, how is everything working, how does it all tie together?
I get what you're saying. It gives me the vibes of Japanese horror that I like. I like Japanese horror when it's more unnerving, and the mystery is what kind of propels you to being scared. Like this kind of like Song of Saya or Rangoose kind of. It's more like, oh, how does this thing work? It's really scary because I'm not fully aware of what's going on. It's the intrigue. Like, we don't even know what Hikaru is. He kind of knows, and he's kind of aware, but he's not too sure himself. And then you reveal more about how the village came to be, and that's unnerving and creepy. And I guess that's more of what I'm a fan of, is just the creepy atmosphere of Hikaru than the actual legitimate moments where apparitions show up.
Oh yeah, like I get that. Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just, this is I think the first quote unquote horror anime that I've seen. So it could just be that maybe I'm just not. I'm honestly just not a big horror person to begin with. But for some reason, it just wasn't super scary to me past those like first few episodes. Like, there were moments that are maybe unnerving, but I don't know. Yeah, it just, like I said, to me, it was more of just like a thriller where I'm just like, okay, I'm just watching all this unravel, and I'm like, all right, yeah, we're getting deeper and deeper into all the occult stuff.
I like that occult stuff too. Occult stuff generally, occult elements in horror makes me more interested than anything else. I'm not a big horror boy myself either. I don't like scary movies. I'm not overwhelmingly intrigued with horror. Well, let me rephrase that. I don't trust horror movies not to jump scare me, and I hate jump scares. And that's my biggest fear. But like scary things happening, I'm down for it. I wish there were more good horror anime for me to watch. I like Higurashi well enough. I like Higurashi and Higurashi. Those are the only ones I can think of off the top of my head. But I like them. They're kind of similar vibes. But I mean, this is probably a good starter horror anime.
Oh yeah, like honestly. Don't get me wrong. For all me saying that it felt more like a thriller thing, like I still really loved this show. Mm-hmm. I thought it was great. I guess like one thing that I can give it that is like genuine praise in comparison to some of the horror stuff that I have seen is that at least for like the initial stuff that's happening, is I can understand why the main character, why Yoshiki does the things that he does, because I feel like that's a complaint that you could certainly throw at some horror stuff, like even some of the best horror stuff that I have heard of or seen bits and pieces of. Like, hang on, I can't remember if it is Insidious or Sinister. Was a movie. Okay, no, it's not Insidious. I think it's Sinister. Where from what I've heard, it's like considered the like scariest movie ever by some scientific way or something. I don't know how they calculate that, but I've just heard that before.
Yeah.
But Sinister, definitely a very creepy film, and very like, I'm like, oh gosh, that gives me like the heebie-jeebies, to put it that way.
Yeah.
But there's a part of me where I'm like, I could almost, in my mind, if I really want to like try and not let myself be scared, I could look at it as like, okay, well, there are actions that certain characters took that directly led them to be in this situation. And just on face value of what these actions are, I could kind of keep myself like level-headed, because I just know, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do this. Like, I don't think I'm going to take this initiating action that leads to everything that happens next. But having said that, when it comes to Yoshiki in The Summer Hikaru Died, I can completely understand and relate to why he chooses to go along with things at the beginning. Because, I guess, would it be too spoilery to say essentially what he's doing?
A little bit. I think a little bit, yeah.
Okay. Well, basically, I could completely understand and relate to why he would choose to do what he does, at least initially. He might lose me a bit more later on, but that was something that I did genuinely appreciate about it. I'm like, okay, this, for what it is, this feels understandable to me. Relatable.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's good. I like Hikaru. I like the character. I do when the thing he's trying to do, or what Yoshiki's trying to do, that's pretty intense.
Yeah.
I caught me off guard that this is the decision he tried to make. I do love how it was handled, where it was a very sentimental moment. Really got me into that. Yoshiki said, this anime did get me emotionally involved too with Yoshiki and Hikaru's relationship.
Like for sure.
Like old Hikaru's relationship.
I will say, I think that we might be thinking of different things with Yoshiki. I'm not sure though. But we can talk after.
Are we thinking about when he gave Hikaru his last day?
No. I'm talking about like from the very beginning of him essentially going on with the whole Hikaru situation. That's the part that I'm talking about, where I'm like, oh, I can relate to why you would choose to do this much.
I'm going like, I can understand why you'd want to kill a guy.
No, I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about the going along with what is happening at first.
Okay. Fair enough. I don't think, yeah, okay. I thought you were talking, okay, you know what? Fair enough. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I really enjoyed this. I'm glad that as soon as season 1 ended, not within maybe a day or two, they basically announced the second season. Glad for that, because if I just had to deal with that season 1 ending, I would have said like, well, what now?
Yeah. It's like, I need more. I need answers.
I need it now. Why are you doing this to me? All right. How are you feeling? I give this a solid 8.
Yeah, I'd probably give it like a 9, honestly.
Oh. Okay, that's fair. I guess what kind of distracts me from being like a hard 9 or what I'm enjoying this more is there was a big chunk of a couple of episodes where I was honestly kind of just disconnecting from how some of these characters were reacting. Like, I don't remember her name, but the girl who gets dead, the girl who has things happen to her, I would spoil it. That girl, I said, you are being really chill.
Sorry.
You know the girl, though.
Yeah. I said her name, and then you were like, oh, don't spoil it. I'm like, oh, shit, sorry.
Well, I was going to spoil. I almost said what happened to her. Like,
yeah.
So we were both about to spoil things separately. It was a group effort of spoiling. Yeah, some characters I just said, you're being really chill and really not handling these scope of this situation like I think somebody would if a mystical entity was replacing people. You're being really chill, and other characters are being just really aloof about situations you shouldn't be aloof about, and not giving me the full reason why their spectrum of emotions is so stunted. But I don't know. That's just me. It's a Matt problem. Yeah, sounds like we both enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Speaking of an anime that both of us enjoyed, but not really because I didn't read the doc properly, just an anime just one of us enjoyed. What's going on with Sword of the Demon Hunter Core 2?
Yeah, so this is picking up right where first core left off, of course. But this is one where I would honestly recommend it to anyone who has like some extra time going into the next few seasons. Like if you want something to just try, I think this one might be worth giving it a shot, because I know a lot of people would look at this and think, oh, this sounds like it's, as Matt, I think, described it before, as we have Demon Slayer at home, but this is very much not that.
Oh, okay.
It is honestly very light on the action. Like, you spend far more time just going around following these characters than you do seeing any sort of action occur. Throughout the whole 24 episodes. And some of the ways that, like, even when there is conflict, and sometimes, like I'll say in the later episodes, the way it is resolved at one point was it surprised me. I was like, oh wow, I did not expect it to end this conflict to end the way it did, and it was really good. This show is very much like driven by its characters, and essentially how to put it, like, essentially just following the main character and him just dealing with his feelings and emotions in a very subtle way. And I think that it is really good. I think that it is definitely worth a watch. Like I was saying, there isn't a ton of action if you're looking for that. It's hard for me to describe it, because I feel like this is one of those shows where I'm like, I feel like I'm too dumb to accurately describe the show or talk about it, but yeah. I could tell that it's good.
I don't know what's good about it, but I know it's there.
Yeah, like this is a show where, like, I feel like people who are smarter than me would say that this is good.
Well, that's fair. I heard from a friend of the pod, Mike, not so Mike Guy, talk about it, and it sounded intriguing, like the drama of it,
Yeah.
I just didn't want to watch it.
Hey, that's fair. Sometimes you have shows where you're just like, I'm just not interested.
Yeah,
I get that. I mean, let's see. I'm looking at my list of stuff that I need to eventually watch. Let's see. Oh, look at that, Free Ren. Haven't watched that yet.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
I'm not saying this is as good as Free Ren, but
yeah, I was about to say, okay, well, all right. Sorry.
No, that's just as over. I'm just like, I'm just not interested,
No, that's fair. At least you're not like some people who just say, like, you know what, Free Ren sucks, and I'd have to say, no, don't say that. That's mean.
It's honestly one of those where I'm like, I'm kind of just saving it for when I'm in like a dry spell of like, okay, I just need a good anime to watch, and I just be like, all right, I can trust that this is good, and just watch it at any point.
Right. So it's just like, do you think it's going to get another season? Is there anything there, or?
There is definitely room for more. That's for sure. I hope that it gets a second season. I would, again, when I see a show that gets like 2 cores these days, It just, I feel like there's, it's probably not accurate, but there's a part of me that feels like, okay, if you're already willing to invest that much into a show, it makes me feel like hopefully that means there's a better shot of it getting another season. But there's definitely room for the show to continue, and I hope that it does, because it is a bit weird where for a show that doesn't have very much action, I could say there is like one aspect of it that feels, without giving too much away, like there's an aspect of it that feels like it feels like they are gearing up for eventually there might be like a big action set piece. But I feel like it might be a thing where they honestly might just wait until like the very end of the show for that to happen. And like they might have just this slow, gradual build up to it, which could turn out to be for the better, but I'll just have to see where it goes from here.
Yeah. Well, I gave it the Demon Slayer, that whole aside, that kind of snide, though, Demon Slayer at home thing, just because of the synopsis. No, I don't. Yeah, I don't know if it was ever going, like, if it actually reached that. But just hearing people talk about it, I kind of felt like it was adjacent, but not this, like, on the same thing. But I don't know. That's just me and my ignorant opinion.
What I could say is that I definitely could see how someone who would even honestly just look at the title, or who only watched, like, say, the first episode, I could certainly see why someone would say that. It's just one of those things where I feel like the more you watch, the less the people I feel are going to get those vibes. Yeah, that's sort of the Demon Hunter core too. So now we get to... Alright, Matt, so tell us about your favorite anime from this season, Takapi's Original Sin.
Oh, man, I didn't like... So Takapi's Original Sin, I've talked about it a little bit on another podcast episode. I talked about how surprising it is that Takapi's Original Sin was so well handled, especially given the source material. I don't know, anybody who says that manga is good, I'm just confused by that statement. It's got an interesting art style, that's for sure, but I don't know about good. But Takapi's Original Sin had some wonderful directing. It subverts the Doraemon. It's trying to be like a mascot. It presents itself in the beginning like a mascot show, with Takopi being the mascot and how he fixes or tries to fix Shizuka's problems with devices. And it's kind of playing into it's Doraemon thing, but it's not actually Doraemon, as you soon quickly learn. I mean, any anime that has a, hey, get some help warning at the start of the episode, you got to know you're going to see some things that are going to mess you up by the end of the episode. Shenanigans are going to go down. And Takopi's first episode Takopi's first episode completely went above and beyond the Call of Duty necessary to mess up my mind. And it hurt because people in other Discords were talking about the ending of that first episode, and no context, not knowing how it happens, I just said, oh, this is just some messed up thing that's going to happen because it's something goes horribly wrong. But no, not only did you get the classic thing that'll make you feel bad, which is a beloved animal being hurt, but then you also get a character deciding that I'm done with everything. And the circumstance of the fact that it was a certain character made me say, oh no, this is doubly horrible. And people in other Discords were just poting while they're poting. Well, you look at you, you're poting over here. We're posting that scene and the still image of it just casually. And I was thinking to myself, what's going on, buddies? Why are we doing this? I don't know. I don't want to see this again. And basically every single character, and I'm not going to go hard spoilers, but I got to tell people why I'm not a big fan of the circumstances of the show. Every single character is basically abused in a different and unique way. One character is getting abused because they are being treated absolutely apathetically. That's Shizuka. Shizuka's bully is getting abused because she's getting too much attention, essentially, from her mother, who is struggling with the divorce. And the third is little dude with glasses, who is getting abused because he is getting apathy because he's getting attention and he's not meeting up to the standards of what he's supposed to be as a student. And these three elements combined, by these powers combined, they make things getting worse and worse. Three children who should Three children who should be with parents who love them are actually ruining each other's lives in their own unique and special way. Claps for everybody who enjoys this premise. So essentially, we get a blind leading the blinds anime where things just descend worse and worse, and Takobi's over there thinking he's making everything better, but he's just making things worse and worse and worse and worse. And I can't even spoil what makes this just so ridiculous at the end of the day. But when the final 2 episodes reveal the big plot twist, I just said, oh, so this is just, okay, fair, okay, all right. So it just never stops. It just never stopped. It's just a feel-bad anime. And some people I've heard say that the ending redeems it. I don't know. I don't know if me getting an ice cream sundae remedies the fact you kicked me in the ball 7 times. It doesn't fix it. It doesn't fix the situation when I've had my fingers cut off and you go, well, guess what? Now you get a cool bicycle. No, I can't hold on to the handles. I don't have any fingers. It doesn't make it better. It's a touching ending, sure. It's touching, and I get why people are touched by it. But me as a human being, having laid witness to the devastation you've inflicted, I don't like the ending. I would have felt better if you just said, and nothing gets better. But whatever, this is just me ranting, I guess, because I'm having people whisper in my ear, yo, Taco P goated. It goated with the sauce. And I'm like, that sauce is it must be dumpster ketchup for all I care. But it's brilliantly directed, and I can't take that away from it. It's brilliant enough for me to say, like, yeah, this is an 8 out of 10 show, I guess. It's bitterly, I say, I guess this is an 8 out of 10 show. If it hadn't hit me so hard, I would have probably liked it more. But then some people would say, well, it's supposed to hit you that hard. It's supposed to be that way. I don't know, dude. Feeling sort of a cynical hopelessness about everything after I finish an anime is not the thing I want to feel. I don't know. That's just me. I like feeling bad, but Taco P hit me in all the worst ways. Maybe it's because of the way I grew up. I don't know. But shrug shoulders. 8 out of 10. Please
Gotcha.
stop. Please stop hyping up Taco P.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really say anything that I've said before. Like I said, I've just like heard about it and I'm like, I'm good. I don't need to feel bad.
That's
I don't
a good
like
reaction.
feeling bad.
If we do, if we kind of, I don't know how we're going to do the end of the year awards voting, but if it's something like every single show that won or got second place goes to the finals and Taco P wins, I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to be thrilled. I would rather just somehow Shunji Family Children winning than Taco P. I don't know. At least Shunji Family Children didn't make me feel gross afterwards or feel so hopeless inside. Even with a pleasant ending, a happy ending as it were, Taco P still made me feel just a weird sense of despair, but brilliantly directed. I can't take that away from it. It's a gem to watch, if anything. I think if I made a list of the anime you should watch from this year, Taco P would unfortunately be in the top 3. So, it's like a good rival for me because I hate it, but I respect it. I respect you, Taco P, but I don't like you. Anyways, I've talked long enough. Oh, what's going on with the water?
It's Oikawa from Haiku.
Yeah, that's a good analogy for it. All right, I've done talking about the show. What happened with the Water Magician?
All right, so going from a show that makes you feel bad, this is a show that, at least for me, this is a feel-good show for me. It's one of the isekai that I probably would go to bat for, and that I feel like it is good and it's worth a watch. It does have some of the tropes, overpowered protagonist for sure, but it's basically just a fun romp through this fantasy world as the main character Ryo is just exploring the world and discovering what's there, and he's meeting and interacting with characters, but yeah, this show it's just a ton of fun, and like I said before, it's feel good for the most part. There is stakes at times, there's some good action, but it's honestly got that nice mix of where there's like slice of life, there's action, there's just exploring the world, and yeah, it's just been a really, really fun time. I feel like it has, again, this is one of those top 4 OPs of the season, in my opinion. Like, this one's really up there for me in terms of OPs. But yeah, I really like the show. I feel like in the impressions I might have gone a bit harsh on it in terms of the animation. One thing that I've since heard is that, and I can definitely tell when I start paying attention, is that the backgrounds in this are beautiful. And what I heard, although I'm going to look it up as I say this right now to try and confirm, but I believe they apparently were using like paintings for the backgrounds. And it's really, it really adds like a different style to it.
Interesting. I'd actually seen a rant on Reddit about this show that people didn't like, that you didn't see they felt like there were too many episodes without seeing the main character or something.
I didn't remember feeling like that. It honestly felt like it's kind of cool to see like other parts of the world, I guess, but I guess I could see that if people really like the main character, because I mean, I do really like Rio, but I don't know. I really enjoy this show. I hope to see more of it. Like I said, this is like one of the, apart from like the few isekai that I feel like in general kind of have a decent reputation, those being Konosuba, Mushoku Tensei, and it's escaping me. Re:Zero. Outside of those, this is like one of the small list of isekai that I feel like are actually worth checking out. Even if you aren't like a super fan of them. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. This is like one of my favorites of the season, honestly.
That's reasonable. I didn't give it a chance. It looked too fantasy for me, and I was already watching too fantasy, and that's enough for me.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you aren't a big fantasy person, that's understandable. Like, I know you and Earthworm were, talking about on the last episode of where you're both more sci-fi than fantasy, and I'm definitely more of a fantasy person than sci-fi, but so that makes sense.
Yeah, I do enjoy sci-fi more than I enjoy fantasy, but I don't heard too many things about the Water Magician, but it's good to hear that it's got shooters out there. What do you got next? I think this is the You show for a while.
I actually just have one more.
I want to watch the show though. I want to finish Witch Watch core or Witch Watch in general.
Yeah. So it's Witch Watch. It's the second core. I've been keeping up with the dub, so I think I'm 1 or 2 episodes behind technically, but it has been a lot of fun. It's I really like the show. I like seeing the characters interact, and as you add more characters, how that adds more chemistry. There's more chemical reactions with the cast, and one of the things I guess people were apparently complaining about with the Water Magician is that I like how it doesn't always focus on just the main cast. Like, you get to see some of the side characters and what they're up to, and yeah, like there have been a couple of episodes where I'm watching and I'm like, it feels like there might have been a thing where the mangaka might have wanted to also be doing another story at the same time, so they were kind of just doing that other story through Witch Watch. Without that's the best way I could think to describe it without getting into spoilers. Basically, it's just it makes sense in the world of Witch Watch, is what I could say. But yeah, it's really good. I'm enjoying seeing it. I guess if anything, I'm just wondering, like, I'm looking forward to when the quote unquote the main plot kind of becomes a bit more relevant, but I'm enjoying the ride as we go.
That's reasonable. I just enjoy the gags of Witch Watch. I enjoy the characters. So yeah. I wouldn't care if they just forever just stalled in time, because there's so many episodes that were just legitimately really like laugh out loud funny. But comedy shows like this are hard for me to like binge out, which was going to be the problem with Witch Watch, was I was going to have to knock it out. And I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to give it like an episode or two every other day. And then I just didn't do that. So now here we are.
I get that. I've enjoyed it so far, of course. There's been a lot of great gags, but I don't know. It's just like comedy anime isn't my biggest forte, or maybe it's just the things that I find funny just aren't as prevalent in this. I don't know. Overall, though, still really enjoying the show. Solid, 8 out of 10, I'd say.
That's fair. I mean, comedy and anime can it can really hit or it can really miss at times, and it all just depends on the execution. It depends on how adapted you are to anime humor, I guess, in a way. I don't know how to phrase it to sound any better, but sometimes you just got to be adept at not even understanding. You've got to have kind of a big brain to understand anime, but you once you see enough anime, kind of the predictability of certain gags and all that. And Witch Watch is definitely one where you need to be a little bit more adept, I guess. I don't know. This is Matt talking. That's Matt.
All right. Well, that has been Witch Watch. So I believe next up we have You and the Rain, apparently.
With Me and the Rain. That's the name of the show. It's our last show to talk about. With You and the Rain. An Iyashikei slice of life show that I was turned on to by IKEA Plant, who just gives me recs, and I just have to take them at value sometimes. So this show deals with an author named Fuji who finds a quote-unquote dog that is obviously not a dog, and she just learns to live with it. I talked about it during the seasonal impressions. The dog is absolutely cute. He's adorable. I love his little writing. I love he's adorable. He's just so cute when he goes under a vending machine at one point and he gets turned completely black from all the dirt and pops out and he's just got little white eyes. Adorable. And it's pretty funny and it tries to be heartwarming at times. There's an entire scene an entire episode where she's got to go. She can't stay at home. And basically, he's left by himself. And then when she comes back, he starts making a crying noise. And it's really heartbreaking because I go, are my cats like this? Is this what the cats are like when I'm not here? That's sad to think about, but I guess that's going to be on my mind now. And it's a nice show. Having an adult character who's got a job as an author is refreshing. It's refreshing to have adult characters in adult situations, not like adult situations, but like adult situations. Like, I need to get an accountant because I don't know how finances work. That's the kind of stuff. So it's nice to see that. It's refreshing. There's a scene where Fuji was in a bunny outfit, and I said, I'm okay. Slay Queen. You're a goddess. What am I adorable. So I enjoyed the show up to a point. The first few episodes had me in way more than the second half of the show. I'm going to be honest. I got bored towards the end. I got really bored in the second half. And maybe it's just because it wasn't treading new ground. It basically just became a whole repeat of Fuji hangs out with friends. Fuji does something. And the quote-unquote dog is also there. It was very repetitious by the end. It was cute, but maybe I would have enjoyed it more if I wasn't trying to make it the last show I had lined up on the dock. Because by the time I got to episode 12, I just really wanted the show to be over. I wasn't entertained anymore. I was just going, yeah, this is the dog, quote-unquote dog is cute, and Fuji is adorable as well because of her slightly stoic attitude. They are making a fun little combo, and I'm learning how Fuji's learning about herself, but this is getting really boring. I was getting really bored.
I get you.
Yeah, if you've ever... some slice of life anime will do that too. It's not a large cast. There was a lot funnier at the start. This show definitely, as it went on, got less and less funny. The first bit involving her dad and the vet, the first few episodes were golden humor. Very funny seeing how people reacted to You. That's the name. Or I guess that's what they call it. That was fun, but eventually when it became more slice of lifey, a little bit more introspective about things, I was disconnecting hugely from the show. So I don't know. By the end of it, I thought I would have probably made it one of my anime of the season or one of my featured anime that I really love from the season. But by the end of it, I just wanted it to be over. But I appreciate the recs and I appreciate people enjoying it. But in the end, I didn't I just disconnected from it completely. So just to summarize, a 6.5 out of 10 from me.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, I think if anything would get me to want to watch it, it's probably just the dog.
Yeah,
I just want to see what that dog gets up to for a little bit.
I like
the quote unquote dog.
Quote unquote dog. I like just calling it a dog because it's obviously not a dog, but everybody calls it a dog. It's like, this is not a dog. But that's the whole gag. This is a weird dog. Yeah. That was summer, guys.
Yeah.
We did it.
We got through all of it somehow.
All of it somehow. And there's the scariest thing is there's so much we didn't get through that we just could. It was a thick season, a really thick, great season. We didn't even talk about Rising of the Shield Hero, Dr. Stone. So many shows we just didn't even touch on.
Yeah, well, I'm just so behind on Dr. Stone, and I've never seen any of Shield Hero, so
I did watch this one show called Dealing, or I watched like half of the first episode and said, nope, not going down this road again. Called Dealing with the Mikado no Sisters.
Yeah,
I said, is Grenth gonna watch this? I feel like he's gonna, and then didn't.
That was over. It's like I feel like when I was putting together like the OP playlists and stuff through YouTube, that was like one of the ones where I was just like, oh dang, I missed this one. Although I don't know, like that's also something that's honestly was like one of the scarier things is the amount of shows where I was just like, I didn't even realize this was here. This looks kind of interesting. Like the Moonrise show that's on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
That's another one that I found when I was putting together those playlists and stuff. And I was like, I don't remember hearing about this at all, and I overlooked it in like Annie Chart before.
Yeah, there's several shows. I was going to finish up Let's Go to Karaoke just because people were saying that it was pretty funny, but I didn't get around to it. And we're not even talking about some of the original the OVAs or ONAs, whatever they're called now. Yeah. I didn't finish To Be Hero X in time. So we didn't talk about that, although I'm going to finish it. I really enjoyed To Be Hero X.
Yeah, that's one that I need to watch. I need to see that. I also was kind of interested in the Lord of Mysteries. Like, that just visually looked like it might be interesting.
Yeah, I heard good things about Lord of Mysteries as well, but I didn't get around to it either. Again, a thick season. Probably one of the best summer seasons that we've had in a long time. I say like I'm an expert. I'm going to boldly declare it. I'm going to look at summer 2024 real quick and make a quick call on it. The first thing I see is Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. Yeah, this is a way better season than the best summer we've had in a while.
That show was disappointing. I'm not going to lie.
That's fair. I also was like, you should watch it, Grenth. You'd probably like it.
I mean, it'd be a thing of where if it wasn't, let me put it this way, if the obvious main girl who is almost 1,000% going to win, if her name wasn't in the title of the show, and I feel like there was a single crumb of a chance that it could go to someone who isn't her because she's like the least interesting girl in my opinion,
yeah,
then I'd be way more interested.
That's fair. That also had Pseudo Harem. That was just a really good show.
Oh yeah, Pseudo Harem was great.
Yeah, you turned me on to that show. We basically did a show trade before we even did a show trade. But yeah, now we've talked about all the shows. Let's talk about our favorite OPs, EDs, best boy, best girl, and favorite anime, and then we'll get out of your ears because we were at 2 hours. So we're not gonna do the rundown or anything like that, obviously, because it's getting kind of long. And then we gotta trade each other shows. I hope you've been thinking about that, Grenth.
Well, I have been since you mentioned it a while ago, and I think I have, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen a single episode of anything from here. I guess, were we planning to do that now, or would we do that at the end of the Impressions episode?
You know what? I'm stupid. We need to do that at the Impressions episode. Let's recommend a show without seeing anything. I'm dumb. I'm so stupid. I'll cut all that out. I'll cut out the parts where I sound really stupid. I'll cut out some of the parts where I sound really stupid. I won't cut anything out. You're right,
you're
though.
good.
Yeah, but let's talk about some of our favorite things from this season. Let's just start off who are our best boy and best girl that we personally loved?
Man, best boy for me. All right, I think I was. This was one where I was kind of having an issue of I'm not sure who I'm gonna say, but I honestly think I got it, and it's gonna be related to who actually won, but it's not exactly who won because I'm gonna say that it is gosh, what was his? I forget what the term they use for him. It's the curse thing that's in GG in Dandadan.
Oh, Evil Eye.
Evil Eye, yes. Evil Eye for me is best boy of the season. I love Evil Eye. Like, especially towards the end with the everything that's going on with, like, the snacks and stuff, and just seeing stuff like that. I'm just like, I love this version of Evil Eye, and I hope that it sticks around.
I get that. I liked Evil Eye as well. I think that's why I like GG is because of Evil Eye.
Yeah. I guess that I'm essentially saying GG, I'm just going about it in a roundabout way to point out the aspect of GG that I like the best.
I like GG, but I don't want to say GG because like 50% of you, 60% of you said that GG was best, and I won't be that. Okay, what about your best girl? Who was your best girl?
Okay. For best girl, I think I'm also going to stick with Nellaroo from Clevatess.
Okay.
She deserves it.
She does. She deserves some appreciation.
Although, I mean, there were contenders this season. I'm not going to lie. Monica's great. She is who I voted for.
Yeah.
How about you?
Monica's my girl. I love Monica. She is the bestest girl. If we do this like for best girl of the year, that's going to be Monica. There's no way that any character in fall is going to usurp Monica. Put a pin in that for when that happens, but I doubt it's going to happen. I love Monica. I love her social anxiety. I love how adorable she is. She's just a fun character to watch. Her character arc is really relatable. It's great. For best boy, I am gonna still keep with what I said earlier and say it's gonna be Iori from Grand Blue Dreaming season 2. I love Iori. He's such a garbage human being, but who's also just so into himself and so confident about who he is. He's fun to watch. I probably would hate him if he was someone IRL, but he's definitely the character when I wanted to see over and over again. Well, him and Kohei, they're fun to see each other together.
I get that.
Yep. So what were the OPs and EDs we liked, or what are our favorites?
Right. Well, let's see. I'll just get ED out of the way because that's easier for me. I'd probably go with the Beautiful Colors One Republic for Kaiju number 8 at the moment. That's how I'm feeling right now. Others I feel like we're up there would be like the Gachiakuda ED Tomoshibi and Kawaii from Dress Up Darling.
Mm-hmm.
As far as OPs, this is where, for some reason, this is the category that I feel like I'm most passionate about when it comes to these awards, even above like show of the season, because I feel like part of it is also just where I'm like, all right, like my favorite anime is Black Clover. I know I'm never going to be the person who wins show of the season, so I've just accepted that fact at this point. But OPs are something that I really get into. So for me, I'm looking at like top 4 probably would involve I don't know the name off the top of my head, but the OP for Secrets of the Silent Witch. Yeah. I love that one. But then you have Mirage by Creepy Nuts for Call the Night Season 2, the OP for Necronomico, and the OP for the Water Magician. It's between those 3. It's honestly probably a toss-up on any given day, but what I'm going to say right now is I'm honestly probably going to go with I think I'm going to go with Necronomico. I really love that OP.
Okay.
Like I said, the OP I feel is far better than the show it is attached to. I will say that.
Very reasonable observation. Again, that show had a bunch of controversies all around it because of something involving AI translations or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which it's kind of a shame that every other aspect of the show kind of got drugged down with that, especially when it's apparently was Crunchyroll's fault that even happened. But
yeah. Well, Crunchyroll, I've already ranted about Crunchyroll. I'm not going to do it again. Nobody wants to hear it. But I get what you're saying. For me, my favorite OP is, I'm going to be basic. I'm going to be so basic that if you dip some acids in me, then I'm going to anyways, point being, it's still going to be Mirage from Call of the Night. That's a banger OP.
Yeah, it is fantastic.
It's so good. It was Yeah, it's such an OP. If you saw the first OP from the first Call of the Night and then saw the second one, you would think something happened. What changed between these two seasons?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
It's funny seeing I know you still aren't a fan of the earlier stuff, but it's funny hearing you say this about Creepy Nuts stuff now. As someone who has always felt like he was in the middle of, was it like super into everything that they do, but also did really enjoy some of the stuff they did, like the season 1 OP and ED for Call of the Night. Just interesting to me.
Yeah, well, I was such a hater because of the Mashal season 2 or Mashal's second one, because I got bombarded with it. The Creepy Nut song that turned me around was I can't remember the name of it, but it's the in between song they would use in the first season of Call of Night.
Lost Time.
Yeah, that song's good. That's a good song. And I'm still not the biggest fan of them, but I've definitely come around to seeing that, like, yeah, I definitely was chugging on some Haterade just for the sake of chugging on Haterade. But yeah, ED, though, no doubt in my mind, Kawaii is so cute, so adorable. I would have loved it had won, but that's what you get when you set up an anime democracy. Sometimes you just don't get what you want.
Oh yeah. I'm aware. I know that you're aware with the next thing we're going to talk about. What was your show of the season?
Secrets of the Silent Witch.
Yeah, hey, it's good.
Yeah, it's a show I legitimately went in with low expectations for. Just went to watch it because people were hyping it up online, and a writer I really respected, like a blog writer I really respected, said really positive things about it. So I gave it a chance, and I'm glad I did, because it's easily going to be my show of the season. Could even be my show of the year, as far as seasonal anime goes, because I was so into it, so invested, so wholeheartedly in love with everything the show did. And I'm not even a big fantasy fan. So yeah, I love Secrets of the Silent Witch. I hope we get another season, but if we don't, then I may have to pick up the books just to see where Monica goes next. What about you? How are you feeling?
I feel like, honestly, I'm just gonna give it to the Water Magician. Honestly, I really love this show. It really for me, just a really comfy show. I'm a person who tends to do my ratings more based off of, I guess, how I feel about a show, as opposed to what I perceive to be the quote-unquote objective quality of the show, if that makes sense.
No, yeah.
That applies to some degree, so I'm not saying this is, like, probably the best made show of the season, but I think it's my favorite.
That's reasonable. Like, and I'm saying, basing something off of objective quality isn't always the best thing to do, because Silent Witch is, my love of it comes from how it made me feel, the emotions that it elicited, like that it put in me when I watched it, and how, even though I don't know where it would rank quality wise, I think it's pretty well animated, and I think it's a really touching story. I think a lot of it is based by, like, I watched it, and every time I put it on, I was happy. Yeah,
I get you. Same sort of thing with the Water Magician.
Yeah, and again, like, that one rant I was talking about was some dude who's just, like, going off on Reddit, so, like, it's not like everybody felt that way, I think, but,
Alright, so I think the last thing that we have on here was looking at the next season to see anything that we have that we're interested in. It's coming up. I'm not gonna lie, the next season is a lot less thick than this current season has been. If this current season was thick, the next one's kind of thin, for me at least.
Yeah, I think some people would absolutely disagree with you, them being My Hero fans, and good for you if you're a My Hero fan. I'm excited for several things. I'm excited for Spy Family Season 3. I know, just in the conversations we've had off pod, you're not stoked on it. I get it, but I'm stoked on that. I want to see Sanda, the new Science Saru show. I'm excited to see that show and where it goes. I think there's a new Gintama anime that I want to watch, but those are really the only shows that I'm chomping at the bit to see. I've heard good things about the manga for Wanda. How did I forget that Uma Musume's got a new season? Never mind, scratch all that. Uma Musume, about to get those other 3 shows out of here.
Yep, your die with Scarlet's calling you.
Yeah, well, it's Ogre Cat, but I can't have her. The gotcha won't be kind to me on that. But yeah, Uma Musume Cinderella Grey Part 2. Let's go. That's the show. That's the big show. That's the one I'm stoked on. I didn't see it because it fell so low on the on Mal. But yeah, what about you?
All right, so let's see. For me, I mean, I'll probably get around to trying Spy X Family Season 3 at some point. But beyond that, I am like you, very much interested in Sanda. I want to see what's going on there. I haven't seen any of One Punch Man, so I can't really be excited for the third season. Then, let's see, but something that I am definitely looking forward to is, there's this one, it's Bukio na Senpai, which, from what I'm reading, it's apparently going to be a office romance, which I'm like, oh, that sounds interesting. And so I'm looking forward to trying out that. Then I had... Oh, there's Season 3 of Star Wars Visions is coming out. Looking forward to that, see what goes on there, because used to be a really big Star Wars fan, nowhere near as much nowadays, but, I still like that, and there was some stuff in there that sounds interesting. Of course, there is this one show called Tomodachi no Amoto Gai Ore ni Dake Uzai, so of course that's on there.
Oh, yeah. My best friend's little sister has it in for me.
Yeah.
I read the books for that. I read the novels for that.
Don't worry, I'm not going to make you watch it.
You say that now.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. If I had one earmark currently, it's probably the Office romance.
That's fair.
If I would watch the Gintama thing if I'd seen more of Gintama. I'm like 70-ish episodes in. But yeah, that's like the short list for me, honestly. It's mainly Star Wars Vision, Sonda, The Office romance, and then my Syscon. So, that's it.
Hey, very reasonable. Very reasonable, but we'll see where everything plays out when we do the impressions, see if that all stays.
Sorry, I was just going to say, the good thing about it being at least for some of us, potentially lighter season, is that gives you plenty of time to go back and catch up on anything you might have missed in the past season.
Yeah, absolutely. That gives you more time to watch the stuff that we just talked about that you might not have seen. But who knows? There could be a dark horse anime that comes out that's actually really good that everybody's super stoked on. I'm not seeing it just looking off the scores. Some of these I'm shocked have already been... Some of these I'm shocked by their scores, but at the same time I'm not shocked by their scores, Yeah. Just going through Mal, I am not shocked that the Emoto show is sitting at a crispy 6.7, and I'm not shocked that My Hero has somehow got an 8.4. But you know how it goes.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's gonna be it for this episode. Normally we would do the check-ins and all that, but we're at 2.5 hours. Y'all don't care. None of y'all care, unless you got something you really want to talk about, Grenth. I'm not gonna take that away from you.
Not really, I guess. Just quick little update, be milestones I've reached. Like I said before, I almost caught up on One Piece, which that feels good after like 4 years working on that. And then just start up Gintama and Bleach. There you go. That's I guess the quote unquote big news. Got like about 70 episodes deep into both of them.
Hey.
And I'm really enjoying both of them. I'm loving Bleach so far. At the moment, it's probably my favorite of the big three, at least in terms of for what I've seen compared to the others up to this point. I definitely prefer Bleach. Gonna have to see how that goes. And then Gintama has had it's had a few episodes that have really been great comedy for me. Like, a lot, they tend to be good, but there are definitely some standouts.
That is kind of the Gintama experience, really and truly. You get some good episodes, you get some really touching episodes, you get some really funny episodes. Sometimes you just get episodes.
Oh yeah, there are some episodes of Gintama that really, really hit me in the feels.
Well, if there's nothing more, Then I'm going to do some plugs, and then we're going to get out of here. If you enjoyed this podcast, then go to patreon.com/Anime Brothers Podcast. Support us as little as $1 a month. Gets you access to a super secret Discord channel in our Discord, which you can join at any time and hang out and talk with us. You'll also just get the smug satisfaction of knowing that you're helping a little podcast do a little bit more. If you enjoy the sound of my voice, but you actually don't and just want to see it written, you can go to animery.com. That's my blog. That's where I write about anime all the time. Feel free to follow us on every single platform because I'm trying to be more active on our social media. Please go ahead and if you haven't already, sub to the YouTube. I'm hoping that we can do more with the YouTube, but who knows? I certainly don't know, and I'm the one who's doing a lot of it. But thank you all for listening to this. You got any plugs you want to do, Grenth?
Let's see. I guess I can say I have an episode for my podcast recorded that's been recorded for about 2 weeks now that I've been very much out of practice when it comes to editing, so I keep forgetting. But there should be an episode for that. The Peak, the Mid, and the Degenerate is the podcast. And it'd just be an episode of me and my buddy Benu going through more One Piece. This time we were talking about the Thriller Bark arc of One Piece, which is one of my personal favorites. And I feel like we finally we found the rhythm, the secret recipe that's going to make these One Piece episodes better. So, yeah. I really enjoyed that one, and if it is hopefully out in the next week or so.
That's fair.
But yeah.
Go check that out, right now. The episode's already over, so you got to listen to something else. Go check that out if it's out. Or, I don't know, just go do whatever. I mean, it's a free day. You can do whatever you want. I'll allow it. But thank you again for listening to this. Thank you for getting to the end. I like doing these seasonal episodes. I like seasonal anime. I'm glad to get to do this with you, Grenth. Worm, the joints just aren't like they used to. He can't do seasonal content, and that's okay. We still love him regardless. But I've been Matt. That's been Grenth. And we will see you later. I don't do the endings. I never do the endings. I don't know how to do these.